headphones on yet. I'm doing posts. Check-a-loadion. All right, we have audio. We have audio. Yep. Oh, Norm with the everyone tag.
Check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. Oh, that's a lot. That's better. Okay. All right. Hi, anybody that's listening, if anybody.
Nobody's here yet.
Wow, I can't spell Milwaukee. Good Lord.
Milwaukee.
It's spelled B-E-T-T-E-R.
Hi, Dad. Dan with the first every freaking week. What's up, Tyler? We like them loose boys.
Who are they?
Bunch of loosers in here, huh?
Whoa. This song will I make. You gonna make it? Did you have a pickleback at Loudon? My mic's not on.
Yes, it is. It's making some noise.
Or it's dead in here then, because I don't hear anything.
No, you're dead in there. I think that's the problem.
Well, I'm dead in here. This is...
Oh, so the weekly Dan needs a lot more volume?
No, it was off.
No, it wasn't.
I couldn't hear anything in the headset.
Yeah, I know. We know.
Dan,
More.
from now on, when you use power tools, earplugs.
No, never. More.
More?
More than that?
Yeah, that's good.
Turn that
Really?
shit up to 11.
No, that's too much. You're right. That's too much.
Oh, my God. You're fucking retarded.
Well, there goes the screen. There goes the stream. Blacklisted.
Damn it.
You
Way to
just
go,
said-
Kyle.
You can't say that word at any point in
Yeah.
the stream.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Way to go, Kyle.
Well, not getting monetized for all 8 people.
Way to go, Kyle.
Dag nabbit.
You blew it.
Oh, you blew it.
You had one job.
Dude, our stonks are diving right now.
Straight to jail. Straight to jail.
Jaywalk, straight to jail.
This guy stinks.
Boo.
You don't throw your trash away?
Straight to jail.
All righty.
Nope, not yet.
You win.
Who's beautiful man voice?
4th place in points, straight to jail. What was your question? Repeat.
Mr. Harden said that beautiful man voice, and I don't know which one he's talking about.
Can't be me.
It's got to be Dan. He's the only one that actually sounds like an adult here.
That's not true.
Sounds like or
Definitely not acts like, that's for sure.
no way.
Oh, he was referring to me.
He doesn't have a beautiful voice. He has a beautiful face.
I like to think I have a pretty nice voice, too.
It's not the best.
You like to think a lot of things.
I've been complimented to you, actually, in the past.
Huh? You've been complimented.
My voice has been complimented.
When?
To you? What's that mean?
Yeah, you lost me.
Okay.
My voice has been
You may have
complimented
used
to you.
Too
What?
proper of English for
Yeah,
us.
I'm lost.
We're blue collar.
Help.
Yeah.
Explain yourself. Allow myself to explain
Myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
True. Forgot
True.
about that. Forgot all about that. Forgot they existed.
Yeah, same. Took me a second to get there.
I'm lost.
Same.
He said that beautiful man's voice, as in I am beautiful.
Oh, that adds
Not
up.
my voice
That
is
adds
beautiful.
up.
There we go.
Okay. That adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay, we got it. Cool.
No.
Cool.
You guys ready?
Born ready, beautiful man, Kyle.
Let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast, your podcast home for all things NASCAR and some things not. I'm Kyle Belcher and joined, as always, by Norman Pelletier.
Jeff, your little boy did it.
That was awful. And Dan Walker.
Oi!
God. On today's episode, we will talk some NASCAR news, recap the race weekend in Daytona and Milwaukee, have some fun, answer some questions, talk to y'all on the old YouTube lives, etc., etc. But before we get into that and everything that is this splendid podcast, Dan, tell the people how we put on such a sort of kind of awesome sometimes production.
My mic stand is flaccid. Trying to fix it.
Mine's got Peyronie's disease for sure.
Bankcare.com, sponsor us.
Oh, my mic stand needs one of those pills they advertise so much during the race.
Rhino XL.
Apparently, we all have ED and we're crooked. It's all we get for ads.
Yeah, tracks.
We are brought to you this week and every other week by the Revival Motoring Network, the Revival Motoring Podcast, and revivalmotoring.com/B for B. Norm, what's slash stand for?
S stands for Bucks to the Boys, Daniel.
Tried to trip him up again like last week. It didn't. He powered right through it.
Yeah.
That is Bucks for the Boys. That is our value for value system. Still say that. Still don't really know what it means. Basically, I think what it means is if you find any value in what we bring you, you can help us keep all of these lights on. They added more lights, and they're really bright. I don't really love them. Kind of like these two. I don't really like those two.
I like these two. I don't like those two. I was pointing at them.
They can see,
us?
Kyle.
The people that are listening.
I thought we lit up your life.
He gets so excited when he sees us, and now apparently it's all just a lie. Oh, you also forgot the other lights that I told you not to forget.
Our underglow, Kyle.
Boo. Ooh, it's purple.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
Alex Bowman
kind of
one?
nice.
I don't hate the purple. Now it's going to take him 20 minutes to find red
Red,
and white.
kind of. More of a fuchsia.
That's like pink. All right, moving on. So, yeah, if you find any value in what we bring you, you can donate at revivalmotoring.com/B for B and help us keep putting this whole shebang on. You can donate $2, $5, $10, or $20, or any combination of the three or of those numbers to make a number you like.
69.
Come out as like a monthly donation. That helps us plan merch, which, speaking of which, did anything happen there with the thingies?
No.
Still nothing?
No.
Oh, we teased it, and we've been...
Bamboozled, yes.
Gave y'all blue balls. We apologize for that.
We're trying, as always.
We're working on it. No, we blew that one a little early, as usual.
When it's out of my control.
Yeah.
I think they just gave us unrealistic expectations
Probably.
of when to receive it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because we did everything on our side on time.
We are really big on unrealistic expectations
Mm-hmm.
and not delivering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tell people every week they'll enjoy this podcast.
That was good. You can also make a one-time donation on PayPal. Send it to info@revivalmotoring.com. On either of those options, please leave a note saying that Loose is Fast sent you, because then they have to acknowledge us, and it's fun that way.
Yeah.
Means we get recognition around here as not just the guys that show up on Monday and do a thing. PayPal is also the home of Kyle's Race Day Challenge.
Hi.
Kyle, that's a thing you do.
Race Day Challenge is if you donate the dollar amount that matches the driver's number that you believe will win on Sunday and guess correctly, we'll send you a little something. And definitely no one did $21.
Nope.
Don't even have to look.
Nope. It's probably just Joe doing $1.
I think Joe said he's coming back with the $1. So
I think he said he was doing it this week. He was like, oh, no, I almost missed it, like right before the race. Yeah, other ways you can help us out, non-monetary, because times are tough. No one can buy a house. Everything sucks. You can leave us reviews. We don't have any new ones, unfortunately. I looked earlier on the way down here. Did not see any. Go leave us reviews on Apple. Write a nice, long, drawn-out, thoughtful review so we can read it. Make us laugh. Make us cry. Make us angry. Any of those things. It's fun.
Do it.
Yeah. Make us have emotion. You can also leave 5 stars on Spotify. Only 5 stars. All the other buttons are broken. What else can we do?
Yeah, they haven't fixed that yet.
Yeah,
It's
you
weird.
can share the wonderful graphic that Mr. Norman will make this evening when we share it when this episode comes out on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to share it, post on your story when you're listening to us. Then maybe that one person that like maybe heard about NASCAR once will be like, who are these losers?
Yeah.
that's us.
It's us.
It's me. Hi.
Yes, exactly.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Woo. And that's it
Dan's
for the
girl.
B for B minute.
Thanks, Dan,
You're
for
welcome.
that lovely B for B minute.
I'm out of here.
We
See you
greatly
later. I'm out. Done my part.
Okay, bye.
Heading home.
All right, we will call back, as we always do, to TV ratings. 2.1 million viewers. Kind of surprising for Michigan to get 2.1 despite the rain delay. But
That ain't bad.
not bad. Only 100,000 less than Richmond.
Right. I was going to say, that's kind of like right where we have been for a couple weeks.
Yeah, shockingly. Anyway, all right, let's head into the segment that I no longer enjoy talking about. Race picks.
Race picks.
Yeah, race picks. So last week we chose for Daytona.
Yay.
I chose Mr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.,
That went well.
who finished 33rd. Dan chose Mr. Corey LaJoy,
That went well.
who finished 34th.
That went real well.
And Norm Pelletier chose Mr. Austin Dillon, who finished 22nd, giving Norm Pelletier his 4th win in the last 5 weeks.
Norm is like the best of the worst.
Yeah.
Hey, it was good points day. I'm just happy to bring the car home back to the shop in one piece. You know, just set us up great for the playoffs. You know, get us in there with some points right on the cut line there. It's good points day. You know, didn't accept the didn't reverse the penalty from a couple weeks ago, but we're gonna keep on digging and we're gonna
Somebody donate
see if we can make it
$20
in.
and I'll shut his mic off right now.
How will we know? We'll have to get confirmation from Josh.
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, so Norm has 4 out of the last 5 with an average finish of 18 and change.
Either we're like, I think we just suck.
It's definitely we
this
suck.
is what we saw coming from the beginning of the season because
True.
we all blew our loads early.
Towards the end, it's like, oh, slim
Okay,
pickings.
I just had really bad luck. SVG getting wrecked out of Chicago.
Yep.
Gibbs putting on a show, blows up at Pocono. Bubba getting wrapped up at Michigan. I got screwed. Briscoe.
I have no
Briscoe
idea.
was
I
a
mean,
bad,
really,
was a bad
Kyle,
call.
the best person you've picked
I have no excuse.
since I don't know Chicago was the 54. So you've been betting on like a 16th place finish since the start. So,
We're talking about SVG at Chicago,
yeah, I said since Chicago.
and then Gibbs who led, and
Yeah,
then
who is like
Bubba, who
15th
was
in
up
points,
front all day
Bubba,
long
who's
at Michigan.
14th in points.
Bubba was up front all day at Michigan.
He's had great
Dan
picks.
somehow won with fucking.
Carson Hocevar. Yeah. Yeah, so we're not having a good time, but
Hey, where'd Zane?
it's not over yet. Norm currently has 15 points. I am stuck with 13 points. Dan has
You want to talk
5.
about stuck?
You have more wins. You have 2 more wins since I've won last.
Oh, wow. That's bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's definitely not good.
That's not great.
Not great.
When was the last time you won, Kyle?
Nashville.
Oof.
That's a long time ago.
That's a long. That's,
It was June.
yeah. Yeah. That's bad.
2-month drought. Anyway.
My whole season's been a drought.
Yeah. So, anyway, we need to choose for Darlington. Dan finishing lowest gets to choose first for Darlington. Who do you want?
This feels like a recurring
I
theme.
say, out of pity, we give Dan the entire field back.
Doesn't matter. I'm the only one with a playoff driver still.
What do you got?
I do not know why I have not picked him. I don't know why I was saving him. I'm taking Ryan Blaney.
That's a great pick.
That's all I got left.
That's a great pick.
Because the rest of it is the same bottom of the barrel that
Hey,
you guys
a
will be
win
choosing
for you
from.
is a win for me, my friend.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Crap, I should have picked Zane Smith. Just help
He's
Kyle
probably
out.
still going to beat the guy I have.
Oh boy. Yeah. So
Eric Jones.
they haven't shown speed ever.
I know, I'm kidding. But who else
They
on
had a
your
great
list?
recovery at Daytona, though.
Who else
Holy
on your
cow.
list has?
Do I want Eric Jones or Justin Haley?
Ooh, JH. I think
He's
he
not
was like-
bad at Darlington.
Yeah.
He finished 11th at
Yeah.
the last Darlington race.
Yeah. He actually has a pretty strong average finish at Darlington.
I was hoping you'd pick Eric Jones.
Give me Justin Haley. Let's go after it.
I have rotated 3 different drivers out of this. I had Eric Jones. Like I said, I picked all these picks like before Pocono. I had Eric Jones in this race forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, now I'm just like, there's no way in hell I'm picking
No.
Eric Jones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Mr. Todd Gilliland.
That's a good pick.
That's a solid pick.
Who I checked like his last 3 Darlington finishes, and he's in the top 15 every time. So
If he's going to win again with a 16th place finish, I guarantee it.
Yeah, probably.
he got stage points, I think, in the last race. So
But the good news is after this, picks reset.
Oh.
Going into the playoffs, you get to choose whoever you want. Same style as the regular season. You only get to pick them once.
Yep.
I can't believe Dan still has Ryan Blaney.
I don't know why. I think it was because, remember...
You were holding them for something.
Remember start of the season, he wasn't doing that great. Like the first month or so of the season. It's like his results. Remember he kept getting like caught up and stuff, and he wasn't having good finishes. I think I just kind of stayed away from him and then forgot he existed.
I feel like you also, I mean, it kind of shows on the scorecard, but you also kind of picked shitty at the beginning of the year.
I did.
Like intentionally?
I don't know why.
No, not really, I guess.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I mean, no, you kind of were as strong as the rest of us at the beginning of the year.
Yay. I'm just excited to have everybody back.
I'm going through the list to make sure you didn't pick them already.
No, I already did. I made sure.
Yeah.
I made sure.
Yeah.
I have not.
No, he
That's
does
good
not.
on you, dude.
I don't know why. You act like I'm still going to win. He's going to go out and blow up on lap 10.
I literally went through the last 3 races at Darlington and went through the top 15, and I've picked every single one of those drivers already. I was like, crap. So Dan is inside the top 15, so you're good.
So that does it for our race picks. We'll see how things shake out at Darlington, and we will move on to Norm's Scheme of the Week. What do you got for the folks, Norm? What do you got?
We kind of went over this a little bit before the pod started because there were actually some bangers at Daytona.
Honorable mentions.
The 4 honorable mentions.
I can't look at that without hearing what Jet Daily said, that they just sponsored. Their sponsor is the sound the car makes.
I made the joke. I posted the picture of Ted when his like stitching's all fucked up. He's like, "It's me, Donnie."
What?
And I was like, "This is gonna be Josh Berry showing up to Darlington." Hello, everybody.
What else you got, Norm?
14 hot, 16 super hot. What other new ones did we get? 23 pretty good. I think it's one of their better looking Columbia schemes. 33 hot. I've already picked him. 34 hot. 38 meh. 41
Fire.
is a contender.
Like, I saw it, I think it was pre-race. It was just sitting on the grid, and I was like, yo.
I'm just a sucker for Dayglow Yellow.
Yeah, the Dayglow Yellow. It's so good. It doesn't look like it in this picture, but it is bright.
That is such a cool looking scheme. 44 actually wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yes, it was.
They've done worse. 51's not bad. I hate real pictures on schemes. So 54, not bad. Hate real pictures on schemes. That's the scheme of the week right there, though.
Woo!
The 62 bumped away Beard Motor oil car.
Parker Retzloff in what, his second Cup start ever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, his
Gets
first one
Norm's
was at
Scheme of the Week. That's a great pick.
As soon as this scheme got released, I was like, that's going to be hard.
Isn't
to
it very
compete with.
similar to the Xfinity car that he
Yeah,
runs
it's
with?
not
down
too
it?
far off.
And I like that one, too.
The only
so.
thing I would have changed is the roof number being green.
Yeah,
I would have made that white
Yeah.
or black. But that scheme's super good. The Beard cars, I mean, they haven't missed
Yeah.
since hell. Brendan Gaughan got out of
Honorable
it.
mention, we only saw it for like 20 laps, but that 99 car was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I don't like the chrome number. I get it.
something about the Coke schemes. Like the Denny one I really liked. This one's really good. Like
Imagine if this and Chase ran in the same race, though. Like, that'd be super cool.
yeah.
Not confusing at all.
Nope.
This was during qualifying. His hands out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Cool. Well, the Scheme of the Week goes to Parker Retzloff in the 62 Beard Motorsports Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
Congratulations to Mr. Retzloff.
Yep.
All right.
Collect your reward at the front desk.
Now we will head off to our Some Things Not segment, in which we call Off Track.
We have a desk? We have a front desk?
Yeah, there's a pop-up thing in
10-4.
in the area.
What do you got, Norm?
Nothing. Pass.
Okay, Dan, what do you got?
Good, because I've had the worst week ever. Not been fun.
Doesn't mean you get triple the time, but
Gonorrhea.
go on.
Doesn't give a shit. Driving home from here last week, the GTI decided to start misfiring badly. So ordered parts that night. They showed up Wednesday, started taking it apart. One of the spark plugs, the ground strap, was completely gone. Like MIA, gone.
So it's in the motor.
Probably. Talked to a few people. My buddy Derek that he used to work at MFA and shit. He was like, I've seen it happen before. He's like, just fucking run it. Who cares?
The problem is it's a turboed car.
Yeah.
If that was naturally aspirated, it chews that up, spits it out the exhaust valve. You never have to worry about it. Problem with your car is it spits out the exhaust valve and right into the turbo.
Long story short, I ended up over-reading things as I do. Closed the gap up on the plugs a little bit because it's tuned. Closed them too much. Still misfiring. There is a noise in the motor, but I've read a bunch of shit, and a lot of people have had the same exact thing happen where the spark plug breaks, and then they have a noise, and it just goes away. I don't care. I worked on it on Wednesday. I was getting rained on and off while doing it and getting pissed off, and then it didn't work, so I closed the hood and walked away. I haven't looked at it since.
Nice.
That's why you drove the cabbie this weekend.
No, that was for other reasons.
All right. So what do you think it's stuck in a valve?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
it's got like
Jesus.
it's got like a rapping noise coming from the top of the motor. And I found a guy on like an old Vortex post that literally took a video, exact same noise. And he's like, I drove it and it went away. And then he posted like 2 years later because somebody resurrected the thread. And he's like, I'm still driving it. It's fine. So like,
Okay.
I don't know what to
Right.
do.
He's just going to
Pray.
pull his head at some point and the valve's going to be chewed up a little bit.
I don't know what to do. Kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. So the valve seats are like brass inserts, I think.
Yeah.
They might be just aluminum on that. So it could just be like embedded in that.
That's what my
And
buddy.
eventually, enough times that valve closing on it, it'll shoot it out.
That's what Derek was saying. He was like, it might be stuck in the valve seat. It might. I stuck like a magnet down there trying to fish it out. I couldn't get it out. So I don't know.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but
dude.
needless to say, that was the misfire on the way home. I pulled the plug out. I'm like, oh.
It's easy enough. You could compression test it, and that'll tell you if the valve's stuck open.
That's probably on. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just one of those things that happened on Wednesday, and I was just like,
And that's a chain motor, right?
Yep.
yes. The 2OT is a chain? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes.
I think they all went to chain.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was Wednesday. Friday, go play golf like usually Friday night with our, we went with Steph's cousin and her sister, went out to get food after. We get home. I'm watching the Xfinity race the whole time at dinner. Get home with like 25 to go. I'm all hyped to just plop down on the couch, watch the end of the race. I plop down on the couch. Steph is screaming in the other room. She opened the door to let the dogs out, and a bat flew in.
Nice.
Yep. So we got the fucking thing. We got it trapped in a room, and it like stopped moving. So I go in, I open the window, and I punch the screen out. Like I open the screen, kick the screen out. So now I'm like outside with a flashlight, and it's flying to the window and then turning, and it's just doing circles in the room. And I'm like, you dumbass, window right there, fly out. Nope, it figured out how to get back out into the house. So now it's in the kitchen. Then we get it in the mudroom, and it's trapped in the mudroom. Steph hits it with a broom. I'm giving you the quick version. This is 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Smacks it with a broom. I throw a bucket on it. Didn't realize that, or like a container. Didn't realize the container had handles. It crawls out and goes under a hutch thing we have. We're standing there like, what do we do? What do we do with this thing? You can't like just touch them. If they have rabies, you're fucked. And rabies vaccines are not fun, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So
They carry a lot of
getting
diseases.
rabies does not.
yeah, well, like someone she works with, they just found there was a bat in like their kid's room, and he had to go through the whole regimen of like rabies shots. So I'm like, that's in my mind. I'm like, don't fucking touch this thing. We finally like move the hutch. Steph pins it down with the broom. I throw a box on it. We slide a trash bag under it and just throw the whole kit and caboodle outside. I think she killed it when she held it down with the broom because it was dead when we threw it outside. Whatever. So now we're coming down off of that. It's like 10:30, touching 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, all right, race has been on the whole time. I already heard who won because I could hear was playing while all this is going on. I'm like, but I want to rewind it and watch it. So I backtrack all the way up. Finally starting to calm down, chill out a little bit. Another bat flies in.
What?
Because while all this was going on, that window I had opened is still open.
Oh, God.
Which I then closed. I ran in and closed it because Steph goes, shit, that window's still open. The cats. This is a half an hour beforehand. So now I'm like, the cats are outside. I run around the house, find both of them. I'm like, all right, cool. Just close the window. We're good. We are literally talking about how like we're on all wired and shit because it's like, what the fuck just happened? It comes flying around the corner like, guess what, motherfucker? We ain't done.
Leroy Jenkins.
So now Steph's on the couch with the fucking blanket over her head like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm battle stance with a broom. Every time the thing goes by, I'm I clipped it like twice. And I finally clipped it enough where it flew into Rocco's kennel. So I slammed the door, but the holes in the cage are big enough it could climb out. We cover the fucking thing in blankets, drag it out to the front door, and then open the cage. And Steph's hitting the cage with a broom trying to get it to fly away. It won't move. it's sitting on the blanket that's like Rocco lays on. So she's like, just pull the blanket out. I'm like, yeah, I can see how this is going to go in my head. I'm going to rip the blanket out. The blanket's going to go over me with the bat in it.
In your face.
I'm going to be in the front yard fucking running around like an idiot at 11:30 at night. So I'm trying to like pull the blanket out. I got a hockey stick. I'm trying to pull the blanket out with a hockey stick. Not working. But I get like 2 feet, 3 feet of the blanket out. So I'm like, all right, I got an idea. It's just sitting there. So I take the blanket and I flip it back in and cover it. And then I pull the whole blanket out and run away. And I turn around with the flashlight as the thing flies away. Bro, I am still... I couldn't sleep.
Nice.
I could not sleep that night. I'm like, I still to this day, like, yesterday I walked by the room where the first one was, and I'm like looking in the room, like waiting to see something fly by. I'm like, I'm on edge now. I'm like, what the fuck?
They had babies.
So I think the first
eggs.
one got in when she opened the door, and then the second one flew in when that window was wide open for 45 minutes.
Looking for his friend that you just murdered.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted
That's
vengeance.
made for life, Dan, and you killed one.
He wanted vengeance.
Yeah, he did.
So that was Friday.
So I know, real quick, you guys have cameras. Can we get a copy of those?
I said that to Steph. I wish that we have one camera and it's in the living room.
It's pointing at the kennel.
Yes, it would have been phenomenal. Doesn't record. It's just I check on it live. It doesn't like DVR or anything.
Oh, right.
So I said that to Steph. I was like, how good would that video have been? And she goes,
That would have been fantastic.
Steph on the couch with a blanket over
screaming.
her head, and you chasing it with a hockey stick
No,
into
broom,
the cage.
broom.
Oh, broom inside?
I broke the broom.
Into the cage would have been
I
hilarious.
missed it one time and hit the floor so hard that the like plastic surround on the broom just blew up. I was like, dude, it was the worst. I was like, all I wanted to do was go home, sit down and relax and watch the Xfinity race. And it's just like, we were up
Bruce Wayne over here.
up till damn near 2:00 in the morning because neither of us could sleep. We were on edge. So that was Friday. And then Sunday, supposed to have a great day. Had a family barbecue in the afternoon. Found out my dad and my uncle were going up to New England Dragway. It was the nostalgia drags. So they have all the old like 50s, 60s muscle cars and the gassers and shit. And there's a car show. So I'm like, I'll take the Cabrio for a blast. Go hang out with them. And then we'll cruise back roads to the family barbecue. Like, this will be awesome. Get in the Cabrio, start it up. No problem. Haven't driven it since the media challenge. It's been sitting in the garage since that's the last time I drove it.
Yeah.
Charge the battery the night before, everything's good. Drive to the car wash, spray it off. Everything's fucking peachy. Almost die on the highway because some old guy decided to merge and not look where he was going, and I don't have a horn, so I'm just like, out the open roof, flipping them off, and go to Dunkin's, grab myself some breakfast. I'm in Dunkin's for no more than 3 minutes. I walk outside, Cabrio won't start. Turn the key, nothing happens. Like, no crank, no noise, no nothing. Dash lights up, just eerie silence when you turn the key.
Yep.
I am not pleased.
Yep.
So about an hour, I sit at Dunkin's for like an hour and a half because Steph was all like, she's like, oh, I'm going to stay home. I'll be able to relax, maybe get some shit done around the house. I call her and she's like, all right, I'll get ready. So she packs the truck up, grabs my toolbox, grabs jumpers. I'm thinking like, did the battery not charge enough? Like maybe we'll try that. I don't know what the fuck's going on. She shows up with tools. I take a long extension and a hammer and smack the starter about 3 times and it fires right up. So now I'm like, cool. So we go home. And then insult to injury is you get home and you turn it off and turn it back on again like 6 times. Starts no problem. Like, oh, what's the problem? Everything's fine. So that like ruined that part. Because I was so looking forward to go and hang out with my dad and my uncle. And then like they both had their couple of their cars out, like just cruise back roads home with them. Beautiful Sunday. No. Yep. Then I had to go to the barbecue in my truck. Not even in with. So the family's got, everybody shows up in all their cool cars. My cousin is a part of like a little car club. Bunch of guys with like, one of them showed up in like a 40s pickup that's all straight front axle, fucking front bumpers this high in the air, wide open headers, like the thing's cool as hell. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't even have a car. This is lame.
Yeah, I think it's your ignition switch.
I don't believe so. I think it's still sending signal to say start. You said, like, I had her check, because that was one of the things I was reading while I'm sitting in Dunkin's doing nothing. I'm obviously scouring the internet. When I turn the key, the headlights don't dim, they shut off. Like, it is sending signal to start, and it has the power draw off the headlights is bringing them down, but the starter wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, could be
I smacked the starter like 3 times, and it zero issue. I think I don't drive the thing enough. I bet you the starter just got hung up.
Yeah, that could be
I
it.
think the
but now,
starter
like, you're like, I don't trust it.
Yeah, and I don't want to change the ignition switch after looking at how to do it.
It fucking sucks.
It looks like it fucking sucks.
I just did it.
There's two ways to do it.
A lifetime warranty from AutoZone.
I honestly think I have a starter from my red Cabrio when it had a 2-liter because I put a starter in it. So I'm gonna maybe call up AutoZone and be like, "Hey, can you check my name on this part?"
Starters or alternators you did on the Saturn.
I could still get one.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. I kept one in my toolbox to exchange in AutoZone because they would break all the time.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I'm pretty. But looking at the DIY and the ignition switch, there's 2 ways of doing it, and they both suck.
Yeah.
Which way did you do? Did you take the U-joint off and pull the whole column out?
I started with trying to use a puller to pull the whole assembly off.
Yeah.
Didn't want to come off, so I took the whole column out. Which was 10 times faster.
Yeah, I think the OG, like the Bentley manual way of doing it is like wheel comes off, pull the ring off, then like use the puller to get that ring off, and then everything comes out. And then somebody on Vortex figured out that if you just take that U-joint out and slide the whole column out.
That's the way to do it.
It'll slide off the back.
Yeah.
The U-joint's basically right down where the pedals are.
Yep.
It's one bolt straight through. Slide the whole thing out, and then you can access it with a tiny screwdriver.
It's like a eyeglass repair kit screwdriver, and then
it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. I use the pivot heads.
Yes,
I use because it's in like at a slight angle because it's supposed to come off to do it. Mm-hmm. But if you have one that has a slight pivot to it, it works just fine.
Yeah. So the starter is a lot easier because it's right there. It's right on the front of the motor. Right. It's a very easy job.
Well, not a great car week for you, we'll say.
No, I'm not having fun. Like Steph said it yesterday, we got home with the Cabrio dead. Or, we get it home. That's all I cared about. I'm like, I just want to get the fucking thing home. Nothing worse than, like, do I get it towed? Do I know anybody with a trailer? Like, how am I going to get this thing home?
Yeah, me after dust off. Go on.
Yeah. So I finally get it home, and I'm like, all right. And she goes, well, at least bad things happen in 3. So it's GTI, bats, and fucking the Cabrio.
Yeah, you're all clear.
Hopefully we're in the clear.
You're all clear. For me, not a ton. Did a bunch of housework. Built a new bench in the shop side of my garage.
Yeah, that looks super cool.
Yeah,
thanks. Came out pretty good.
Compared to what was there? Because was that where that old giant one was against the back wall?
No, when you first go in the shop door on the right, that little shitty wood one.
Oh, yeah.
That shitty one. I tossed that and built the new one.
Okay.
And I lagged it into the wall and everything, so it's sturdy as hell. Someone put the vise on that. Got a new vise.
When we moved him in, there was
new vise. You don't think it's as cool as it is, but having like a nice vise that fucking just
that you can go like this and it goes.
Yeah, I got the dual pivoting one, so it goes in and out and it also turns this way and that way. So
yeah, when we moved you in, there was that giant was it like a bar top thing? In the
that's
back?
Still in there.
Is that still in there? Dude,
that's gonna go.
That thing weighs like 1,000 pounds.
We moved it.
It was on dollies and we moved it, and it was heavy as shit.
Yeah, that's going
on wheels,
going in the trash whenever.
That needs to be like
get a dumpster,
cut up with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it up.
Yeah.
But built that bench, which is nice. Went through all my tools, organized those, and my red bench, the other bench.
Yes.
That one, they don't get up against the wall because there's the ledge of cement, obviously, for the frame.
Yeah.
So I cut the back legs shorter so they slide over.
You put them right on top of the concrete?
That's cool. I like that. Yeah,
good idea. The back legs are about 11.5 inches shorter.
It's the little shit, dude. You drop one bolt behind that thing, and you're just
gone.
like...
It's gone forever.
Forever. You're just like... This is
that would annoy my
keep me up
if that bench wasn't against the wall, that would annoy me. Like it would just
the worst part for the red bench is it's not up against the wall, so the bench is pretty good size. So then I can't reach the wall. I've hung a bunch of shit on the wall, so I can't reach it.
Yeah,
I can kind of difficultly, but like my fiance can't reach it at all.
Yeah, you got long
like
ass
she
arms,
can't touch shit. So I
get her one of those grabbers.
So I cut the legs on that one too, and mounted that up against the wall, so everything's in its place.
Yeah, Kyle
solid.
Kyle thought he'd flex on me yesterday morning. Oh, dude, I rebuilt my cabinet already. What are you doing? And I sent the picture of me driving the Cabrio pre-disaster.
Yeah, pre-disaster.
It was moving in the picture.
It was.
And I put the nose on the Harlequin.
Oh, you
got
put
got the grill all done, and I got a new old stock emblem.
Ooh,
found it on eBay. It was like, wow, that dealership's name looks really familiar. Oh, that's the one in Braintree down the street from my house. Just drove down, picked it up. Brand new, still in the bag.
No shit.
It's like, did you put it on like a 45-degree angle? Like
absolutely not.
Kids?
No.
When's Wildwood?
Next weekend. Not this upcoming weekend. The following.
Oh, so not Labor Day weekend. The weekend after.
It's a weekend after.
Okay, are you gonna be home Monday?
Nope.
Good, because I'm not either. So I guess we'll just do Tuesday.
Perfect.
I was like, I'm gonna have to miss the show.
Tuesday it is.
We're going camping. That Monday's our anniversary, so we're going to be gone all weekend.
Oh, nice.
We're coming home Monday. So.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll do that one on Tuesday.
All right.
What is that, Atlanta?
Yes, that would be Atlanta week.
Yep. Cool. All right. Let's get after it, shall we?
Shall we?
Breaking news.
buckle up because there's a lot of news.
The news. We got some big bits of news this week, huh?
We've had some like slow weeks, and then this is the busiest week we've had in a while.
Yeah. Let's start with some of the non-driver news, if we will. Hendrick Motorsports in the news this week because Hendrick Motorsports is suing Hooters for $1.75 million for unpaid sponsorships.
You fucked up.
That's such a small amount of money in the grand scheme of things.
Well, not for Hooters, apparently.
Well, allegedly, Hooters was supposed to make 4 payments amounting to that amount of money and only made 1 payment for $45,000.
Well, they had to drop the last race of the year for them, which I think was Indy. If not,
Yes.
It was Michigan.
It was
one of the two.
No, it was
Indy, I
Richmond.
think. Richmond?
Because then they put the Coke scheme on.
You're right, it was Richmond.
Yeah.
I thought didn't they race Coke at Michigan?
I thought
It was the first week back after
You're right.
the break.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
Which is Richmond.
Richmond.
So, yeah, that's got to go get your monies.
Noticed he still had it on his fire suit, though. Thought that was interesting.
Did he?
Because it's been off the car for a long time.
Well, that
Yeah, it's
was
still in the suit.
That was how the rumor started. Was it was off the hauler? It wasn't on the pit box. It wasn't on any of that. But obviously, the suits get made. They're not going to make a new suit right now.
Right. Also, some I guess this is driver news, but RCR, which we talked about with the whole Austin Dillon debacle, lost their first appeal, if you will, but their spotter was given 2 weeks back.
That was the only thing that was
only
changed.
thing they won.
The spotter was reinstated.
And then
In all that, the only thing that happened was Brett Griffin got fired.
on his day off.
yes, and it just came out earlier today that they lost the second one.
Yeah, when the first appeal got denied, there, Richard Childers, we're going to take this to the Supreme
We're
Court.
going to appeal the appeal.
Wrong.
You get nothing.
So shout out to the appeals process for upholding that. Somebody's phone's ringing. I was told
work
to
phone.
turn phones off. Yeah.
Shh, this is a movie.
Fuck that $10 million client, dude.
I hope that's what it was.
Probably.
Probably spam.
Yes, probably. Yeah, no, they came out and they're like, we're going to appeal this, and then but I agree with you. Shouts to the appeal process because I was terrified that they were going to appeal it.
Yeah, because
And-
we've seen in the past few years a couple shady turnovers.
Yep.
So I'm glad this one was held up because everyone applauded NASCAR for the decision on the penalties. So I'm glad that it didn't just get eradicated in a back room somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, now we'll get some more penalties to talk about. We'll start with Big Machine Racing. Parker Kligerman, for those that don't know, they were issued an L1 penalty for an illegal spoiler. They lose 20 regular season points, 5 playoff points, and the crew chief fined $25,000.
Yeah, it's a tough hit for that team. Obviously, a small team. Parker's a very likable guy. Super cool.
And they're right on the bubble, too.
Yeah, we were all kind of applauding when he got picked up for that ride because he seemed like he had kind of backseated driving to doing TV stuff. So this was a super exciting opportunity for Parker that I think a lot of people were excited about. Super unfortunate, but I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Yep.
So you gotta try to fudge the gray area a little bit. Unfortunately, they got caught, and he is fighting for the playoff spot. I think he's in 11th, and they only take 12 in Xfinity, correct?
He is currently at 12th, I believe.
12th.
I think he's right on the bubble.
Is this
pretty
my
sure?
This feels like my time to once again for like the third year in a row complain about the schedule. How is the trucks already in the playoffs? The Cup is 1 race away from the playoffs, and Xfinity has like 4 more races. To the
Well,
playoffs.
Cup and Xfinity makes sense because they don't do a round of 16; they do a round of 12. It lines up
I
perfectly.
still hate it. It's
Well,
confusing.
Trucks is about to have like a 3-month break.
Yeah,
And
true.
then go into
The truck is
playoffs.
what throws it off.
It's
Cup and
confusing.
Xfinity makes perfect sense.
Like I hate it because it's confusing. It used to not be like that.
yeah.
It's confusing for maybe a new fan when they're like, when you watch the Xfinity race and you hear, oh, they got 5 more races to the playoffs, and it's like, wait, I've been hearing all week the playoffs start in 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
I was finishing up building that bench I was talking about, and I fired up the app. I was listening, so I fired up the app to look at running orders and stuff, and I was like, what is it? Oh, they're all highlighted with the big red playoff from the running order. I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Also, we have to talk about a very big penalty that has implications in the Cup Series. Joe Gibbs Racing in the news because they were issued an L2 penalty for the 11 team. Docked 75 regular season points, 10 playoff points, and Gabe Hart fined $100,000.
And they didn't even do anything wrong.
And they reported it themselves, Toyota being.
What was that? The 5th race of the season?
Yes.
Yep. So what happened, Dan?
So essentially, the motor rule is that the motors are sealed, and when they're done their cycle, as Denny was calling it. I think he said about 2 or 3 races. 3 races. They usually get sent back to the engine manufacturer to be torn down, rebuilt, used next year, whatever. When you win a race, NASCAR needs to inspect that motor. But they let you keep it, like if it hasn't been in its life cycle yet. So let's say you win the first race with that motor. They let you keep it to run 2 more races with. But according to Denny, the normal seals are like blue. And when you win a race, NASCAR they replace the seals with a red seal. And you have to tamper with it to get it off. You can't work on the motor without the seal being obviously fucked with. So apparently his motor from the Bristol win, the spring Bristol race, what's that, March?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the 5th race of the season.
March. They used it again at Darlington, and I guess it had not been inspected by NASCAR yet. And somewhere along the line, somebody fucked up and sent it to TRD in California, where it was torn down and rebuilt. How?
It being sent there to get rebuilt is okay as long as NASCAR inspects it first.
Yes, which they had
which
not
they
yet.
did not. So they screwed up big time. Toyota reports themselves.
There's nothing you can do.
And NASCAR drops the absolute hammer on the team that really didn't do anything.
It's like Denny was saying, like the reason they self-reported is because there's nothing you can do. At some point, NASCAR is going to look at their list and go, we haven't seen that motor yet. Hey, 11 team, where's that motor?
Yeah,
and you
better to get ahead of it
just
now
get ahead of it.
than pray they don't figure it out,
exactly.
and then you get shot in the face in the round of 8.
Right, in Martinsville.
Yes.
They're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why Toyota self-reported. I just cannot get over, like, the kid that's on Denny's podcast. I was listening to it on the way down because I wanted to hear what he had to say about this whole thing. And he's like, when Denny said that it's a different color, like the seal, it's obvious. Like, that's the seal for a winning race motor. And that's what the co-host, his whatever media kid said. He goes, isn't that like a giant red flag? Like, don't send this motor out? Or, like, so the person at JGR, whether that's someone from Joe Gibbs or like Denny was saying, they have TRD employees that are there that sometimes handle shit like this. That guy fucked up. Whoever boxed it up and sent it to California fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to TRD, and how many people looked at that and didn't go, what's that doing here?
Yeah.
You would think they would understand.
That's a huge breakdown.
Like Kyle said, though, it gets sent to NASCAR, or NASCAR is supposed to look at it, and then it sends to TRD. Who's to say those tags don't stay on it when it goes to TRD?
Well, NASCAR inspects it. They would break the seal. So if you get it at TRD, that seal's going to be broken. It's either not going to have the tape or whatever it is on it, or it's going to be obviously tampered with.
Yeah.
So they'll know, hey, NASCAR inspected this motor, but you get a motor with untampered seals, you're probably thinking, like, the light bulb should go off. Like, that we shouldn't touch this.
Yeah, big breakdown in procedure there somewhere.
So somebody screwed up by sending it there. Then it was doubled down the screw up by someone took it apart and rebuilt it. And then somebody walked by, like I think Denny said, he goes, somebody must have walked by and saw the red tape sitting on the floor and went, what are we doing? Like, what is that doing there?
God. Big mistake. That costs him a lot. That takes Denny completely out of the regular season.
It's more than just
championship standings.
More than just the 10 playoff points, too, because you finish in the top 10 at the end of the regular season. It's a descending, so first regular season champion gets 15, and I think it's like 12, 11, 10. I don't remember what it is. I think
so.
But he's going to go from finishing, let's say, top 3 in the playoff points, or in the regular season, where he could have gotten, up to 15 extra playoff points or 10 extra playoff points. He might get 2 or 3 now if he finishes 9th or whatever.
So effectively, he could lose like 20 playoff points because of this.
Exactly. And that's we've talked about it on here every year when the playoffs come around, and we've watched it many times. That's the crutch because the playoff points carry through rounds. So
he's now 8th in driver points.
Yeah. So if the season ends right now, he's going to get what? 2 points, 3 points,
3,
extra. So that's a total of however many points penalty is going to end up. So it's not just the 10; it hurts even more than that. And like he'd said on his show today, and like we've talked about before, you get a lot of playoff points. That's like a crutch. What was the year? Was that 2 years ago with Chase Elliott, where he literally made it to the Final Four, like on playoff points, because he had so many that he sucked in the playoffs and still ended up in the Final Four because he essentially had a bye week for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
he just was mediocre and still got through. So now Denny loses that crutch, and you look at they brought it up on his show today, that second round. I mean, Kansas, Talladega, and the Roval. He's like, I have to go win Kansas. He's like, I have to go. If I don't win Kansas, it's going to be a stressful 2 weeks.
Yeah. Big time.
It's Denny. He's more than capable of winning at any
and that's what it is.
But that's usually when he falls off.
But even he said it.
Well,
he
it's
goes,
just Talladega on the Roval are just such
wild
unknown.
cards. Yeah, and he even said it.
Like, no one's going to win the Roval. AJ Allmendinger is going to come out and win the Roval.
Something stupid
because
like
that's
that.
kind of been guaranteed the last fucking 5 years.
But
it's in Talladega's Talladega.
He even said it, though. He says, we've been running really good, but we can't like he said, their finishes the last 2 months have been terrible, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
How many wrecks have they gotten in, or bad luck, or broken parts, blew a motor at Sonoma? He goes into the playoffs, and let's say in that first round he has a round and just squeaks by. He doesn't have that crutch anymore. I mean, how many times have we seen it in the playoffs where someone will go in, have an iffy first round, but then it resets for the second round, and then they sort their shit out?
Yeah, Martin last year.
He's not going to have that crutch. If he has a crappy first round, he's going to find himself in 12th going into the second round.
Yeah, you look at Martin last year. He barely made it through the first round, and then you're like, and he's right back to the top. It's like, oh, okay.
It's just a massive, and
that hurts a lot.
I saw a lot of people that were like, "Why would you penalize Denny? They didn't do anything. Like, it's a TRD thing. They
Black
have
and
to.
white.
They have to, because if they just,
it's a team issue. You can't fine TRD.
Well, that's the thing. They could find TRD. TRD's going to cut that check every single day, and then it's going to open up the door. Chevy's going to go, we'll build a couple of legal motors for Larson if we just got to cut a check. And they're not going to penalize the 5 car. They'll just, Chevy's going to cut the manufacturers will cut that check every fucking day. So they have to penalize the team that the motor came from.
Right.
They have to do that.
Yeah, and if you look at the timing of it, I'm sure TRD right now with all the engine issues they've been having, they just kind of did a recall in the Cup Series and did a quick fix. So now they're actually fixing the engines. I'm sure they've been kind of overwhelmed the past couple of weeks with engines.
That's probably what it was.
So they probably just had an influx of 3 to 4 times as many engines as normal, and it got missed.
You got that guy on a Friday that's been pulling overtimes all week, accidentally just wasn't
right.
paying
They just
attention.
unloaded 15 engines off the truck with it. They normally would unload 4.
Yeah,
because they had to fix them all.
Yeah. So tough break for him, for sure.
Massive, and it's like we're not big Denny fans here. We've talked about it as the driver. We like Denny, the owner, and whatever. If it wasn't for bad luck or misfortune or like cooling off at the wrong time, I mean, you name it, it's happened to the guy.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I applaud him for how well he's handled it too. I mean, I know he's fuming inside, I'm sure, but like he's handled it pretty well. There's nothing he can do about it.
He said on his show on Thursday when they announced it, when he found out about it, he's like, he got called into the conference room at JGR, and he walks in, and there's like, what's his name, David something or other from TRD.
Smith?
No, it's something I don't even know. There's somebody else from TRD, and then
Tyler
it's like,
Gibbs.
Yeah, Tyler Gibbs. There's Joe Gibbs is in there, a bunch of people, and he said he walked in, and Gabe Hart was there, and he said he said the first thing that ran through his mind was, okay, so this is just an 11-team thing, because it was just him and Gabe Hart.
Yeah.
He said he was thinking this. Okay, so it's
David Wilson.
He's like, Wilson.
There you go.
He's like, so it's just us. And he said he caught David Wilson's iPad on the way by, and he saw the header that said NASCAR penalty. And he said, now I'm thinking about what have I done in the last 3 weeks? Like, did I do something? And he goes, then my mind goes to Gabe Hart. What the fuck did you do? Like, he's trying to, I'm thinking like as he's walking into this boardroom, like it's like getting called to the principal's office. You're like, what did they find out? What
did I do? What did you do? What did we do?
From like, I'm about to get scolded to I need to apologize to they need to apologize.
Yeah.
And I'm about to start yelling.
Yeah.
Yep. Tough break for sure.
We had some insider information on this one from a listener, and he couldn't tell us what it was, but he said, hey guys, there's a penalty coming. And like an hour later, it got announced, and we were all like, "Oh, we didn't think it was that big."
Brutal, like absolutely brutal. All right, we'll keep moving here. We got a couple different driver announcements to make. Silly season rolls on. We'll start with Colleague Racing. Colleague made 2 announcements in the past week. We have learned that Mr. AJ Allmendinger will be coming back to the Cup Series. We talked about that, and now they announced that Daniel Dye will be joining the Xfinity program, driving the number 10. Chevrolet in 2025.
They also announced on the side of that Josh Williams will be back in the 11.
Yes.
So they announced
very happy to hear that.
2 out of their 3 cars, assuming the third one's going to be the 16, because obviously the 97 was a 1-year deal. The 16, all fingers are pointing at Christian Eckes right now. Daniel Dye, great pickup. I mean, he's improved a lot in the truck series.
He really
in the past
has.
couple of years. And he's done a handful of races for them in the Xfinity Series.
I think so.
So Christian Eckes is the next one expected to go to there, but huge news for Daniel Dye and Michael Waltrip, his dad, I think.
Yeah, pretty sure they're related.
Yeah.
My problem with all this is Colleague is not done well this year.
In anything.
SVG is the outlier, obviously, because he's a stud. They've done borderline terribly.
Some would say fuck all.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's a good way to put it.
They even said
but now they're going to put Daniel Dye, who's just coming in. You know, he's like Norm said, he's shown some promise. He's an up and coming prospect, but he's not going to help him fix whatever's wrong. AJ's going up to Cup, so he's going to be focusing on Cup. You can't lean on AJ for freaking everything. You're going to put Eckes in the car and Josh Williams. Where are you getting all this feedback from?
Yeah.
Josh is becoming a veteran presence, but he's still new to this team and new to this car. Like, they all need to be taught, not doing any teaching.
I'm still wondering. I was saying this to Kyle before you got here. Bianchi said something today that he talked to Chris Rice this past week, and they said something about they have their driver for the other Cup car. They just have to put pen to paper. So does that mean Hemrick's out?
God, I hope so.
Like, huh? Like, I haven't even heard anything about Hemrick, and now all of a sudden that's what
you sure it was Cup car? They didn't mean other car?
Maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe it did mean Xfinity car because I just caught it really quick.
I think it may be other car, meaning the other Xfinity car.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't run the team. I'm not a team owner, but from the third person view of someone who kind of knows what they're talking about, don't you kind of want a veteran presence in there? And you're going to go with three young guys
the AJ
in a team
thing,
that sucks right now?
Like we said last week, makes no sense.
It doesn't. AJ didn't even want to be in Cup the last time he was in Cup. Remember the whole joke, like, the schedule's how long? Like, remember that? Yeah. Like, he loves being in Xfinity, and they haven't done, we talked about it last week. How many times has he been on the radio talking about how shit his car is? They, on the broadcast, I heard it, they were talking, I think it was Xfinity qualifying I was watching, and I think one of the Colleague cars went out, and they had this whole thing about, remember when we used to come here and the Colleague cars used to dominate, and you'd see them all lined up together? I haven't seen that much anymore.
No, I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't love it.
Yeah, I've always liked the team. It seems like The Office, and we've said it before, that seems like the funnest team to work for.
Probably.
But we were saying that when it was Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, like all these guys just seemed like friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, this seems like a super positive place to work. Super fun. Obviously, Chris Rice is biggest cheerleader, best friend, father figure.
Remember to smile.
And it's just right now, it's like they lost their identity and they don't really know what they're doing. Like Kyle said fucking 2 years ago, they're flying too close to the sun and it's affecting everything. I didn't want to believe it because they had such promise a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they still do. It's just like they need to focus.
Justin Haley, Jeb Burton, and AJ Allmendinger was the strongest lineup they've ever had.
Yeah.
And they've just fallen, and then they picked up Josh Williams, and we're like, this is it. We can root for Colleague again.
Yep.
They got no speed.
Josh Williams, he's the man, and he's qualifying 28th every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have no speed, and I don't know what happened. But
I'm glad in all of this that Josh Williams is getting another shot.
Same. I was worried that he was going to be like a one and done, so I'm happy that he's getting another shot. Maybe if they figure their shit out in the offseason.
Hopefully they bring in some young talent that has some speed and picks up the program, and that helps them out a bunch.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
Even with the current lineup, I mean, I know the 97's a track house kind of thing, but it's still a Colleague car. You could really only bank on him for help on road courses because he's learning the ovals. You're not going to get feedback from a guy that's figuring out, oh, this is how I drive Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Right. I think
this is how I drive.
AJ's all money, and they could fully fund a Cup car with AJ.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm guessing here, that they don't want to do the revolving seat anymore. Mm-hmm. Like they want 2 full-time cars, and AJ was the only guy they could get fully funded in that car because AJ brings in sponsorship. He's never in the Colleague. Actually, I shouldn't say that because he has been a couple times.
Wasn't he just,
I think he was like
Wasn't
2
he just
weeks
in the
ago?
leaf filter car like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was just thinking that because I remember when we saw it, I was like, that's the first time we've seen that leaf filter car.
It also could be an instance that they're chasing purse money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put AJ in the Cup car, you got a 50-50 shot at pretty much every road course that he's going to be up there, and you're going to get a big payday.
I mean, signed, sealed, and delivered at the Roval every time.
And obviously the purse in Cup is a hell of a lot bigger. So if you need to bail out your program and inject some money, how do you do that? You put AJ Allmendinger on a road
Cup
course.
pays a lot more than 15th in Xfinity.
Yeah. Sure does. So we'll see. All right, we'll get to the last team that made some announcements this past week. We've got Trackhouse in the news. Trackhouse, two-part to this. Trackhouse announced late Friday night, weird timing.
Like in the middle of the night.
It was like 7 o'clock at night, like just before the Xfinity started. It was really weird. That Zane Smith will be parting ways with Trackhouse after only 11 months.
Yeah.
After signing a multi-year deal.
They came out, he said he was, what were their words? Top draft pick, first round draft pick, something like that, last September. They were all hyping him up, multi-year deal, all this stuff, and pack of shit.
Yep.
You're gone.
Zane is gone. I've come to find out within the past couple months that multi-year deal doesn't mean jack shit.
No.
Just doesn't mean anything.
This is what our second.
Oh, you got a multi-year deal? Just kidding, it's 11 months.
I think it just means that no other team can try to steal you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like a no compete there. So
but
it's
you
like,
can still get
hey,
shit canned.
It's up to us. 3 years, you can't look in any other direction but our team.
Yeah.
But we can do whatever the heck we want.
Well, it obviously depends on the contract and what they sign, but if you didn't sign a guarantee, you're an idiot.
But it's just crazy. And we talked about this when last year. We were like, where is Trackhouse going to put all these people? Because they already had
a theory.
They had Suarez and Chastain, then their SVG comes rolling in, or Zane Smith was first, then the SVG stuff gets announced.
I think Zane Smith was a backup plan all along.
I agree with that.
So we have the Zane Smith and the SVG deals were announced within a week of each other?
Very close to each other, yeah.
2 weeks maybe? Pretty close.
Very close.
SVG was the hot shot, the up and coming, the guy coming over, a superstar, whatever. If he does well, awesome. Put him in the Cup red. If he does shit,
if he flames out,
you got Zane Smith to fall back on, who's not a bad pick.
Yep.
SVG shows up and shows out and puts on a damn show. Should have won all 4 road courses.
Does damn good on ovals that he's learning.
And he's getting better and better every stage.
Uh-huh.
Finished 4th at Indy.
Yep.
Like, he's doing way better than anyone probably ever expected.
Yep.
So where do you want to put all your eggs? In the SVG basket or the Zane Smith one? Zane Smith, great guy, talented race car driver, pretty marketable.
Yep.
I'd say.
Yep. Yeah.
Then you have SVG.
He's already got
3-time, 4-time Supercar champion.
Something stupid like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Multi-time.
He brought money with him.
Yeah.
He brought fans with him. He brought money with him. I mean, look at...
He's very well established, very talented, very likable. Awesome. So, yeah, it's a business decision.
Zane just got the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
I think if the SVG thing never happens, SVG never drives the 91 car, wins at Chicago, we're not talking about this. Zane is going to be in that 3rd car next year. I just
100%.
think he ended up with the shit end of the stick, and it sucks for him because you're right. He's a nice guy. He's talented. Who knows? I mean, the car this year, he's been showing some promise the last month or so.
Well-spoken, good-looking kid, very marketable.
Yep.
But SVG is just better in every sense.
Yes.
I have a couple theories. First one, I think the charter negotiations have a big effect in this. I think originally they were looking at this as a future 4-car team, and now they're afraid to buy that 4th charter.
Also could be true.
Yep.
And who would we rather spend the $40 million on to get a charter? SVG, guarantee, or Zane prospect kind of thing. So I wonder if that has a little bit to play in it. Also, I wonder if their 2 positions were planned on being reversed this year, where Zane Smith would have gone from trucks to Xfinity and SVG would have gone right to Cup, and SVG decided he wanted to do Xfinity instead, because they could bench Zane in Xfinity for a couple years, and no one would question it. He would do fantastic, but he goes to Cup, and now he's not going to want to step back, where SVG is kind of one and done. That's kind of where I'm looking at it. Like, they could have cooled him a little longer, but propelling him right to Cup, it's now asking him to step back is too much, and he doesn't want to. Is kind of a theory I had, just because SVG, everyone just assumed he was going Cup racing. When he announced his truck and Xfinity deal, everyone was kind of like, oh, that's not what we expected, but we're okay with it.
That was Justin Marks' call. That's what Justin Marks said, that he was putting SVG in Xfinity to learn and develop before putting him in Cup.
He's going to say that. He's going to.
No, anyway.
You know what I mean? But that was kind of where I was thinking that might have come from.
Maybe.
Was Zane went to Cup, and now he's like, well, I'm not going to step back from Cup.
Yeah.
You don't have a Cup ride for me, so I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I wonder if I had this thought, too, because Zane was a Ford guy, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, the option's still there, but I wonder, there's probably a little bit of regret now with that open FRM ride.
I think he's going to front row.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm saying if he was still in the Ford
Camp.
cloud, that would be an automatic. Like, there's no bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no, he would automatically be going to McDowell's car.
I think he's taking that third FRM route.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Ford will probably fight to get him back.
Yeah. And the day after this Zane Smith announcement, Trackhouse announces that they will be adding a third Cup car for next year, the number 88, to be driven by Shane Van Gisbergen himself.
Love it.
The 88 is the only weird thing to me.
It's weird.
Agreed.
I didn't think that's where they were going to go.
I hate it.
I was completely okay with them bringing the 97 up.
I understand that Justin Marks' kind of thing is adding to the sport, making the sport better, adding to the legacy. He's adding to legacies of numbers.
Yeah.
The 1, the 99, the 88, like famous numbers, I think.
I could see that.
When was the last time the 88 won a championship? When was the last time the 97
Dale
won a
Jarrett in
championship?
1999.
Yeah, and Kurt Busch won in the 97 and 03.
True.
So the 97 has a more recent legacy than the 88. The 88 is him.
More recent, but far smaller.
I also like
Yeah,
what
but
somebody
97, Justin Marks can do whatever the heck Justin Marks wants to do. He owns the team.
Yeah.
But the 97, I saw that as SVG's identity.
Agreed, 100%.
From what
I
I
agree.
know of his stint
I
in
think you're an idiot
supercars.
for saying the 97 has a bigger legacy than the 88.
Well,
but
I'm saying
You think he said more recent?
Yeah,
I'm
it's still
saying
dumb.
It's dumb saying I want a number with legacy when the 97 has just as much legacy as the 88.
that's not true.
Junior raced it, but how much legacy did he do in the 88 car?
I mean,
he won,
Junior,
what, 6
Dale
races?
Jarrett
It's Dale
was in the
Jr.
88.
Yeah, Dale Jarrett years ago.
The 88
But
is a
it's
bigger
just-
number than the
I
97.
wanted a number with legacy.
Or no,
Okay, every number on the track has legacy except for
Yeah.
the 27 car.
I don't like it because of the legacies that are attached to the 88. I want him to have his own identity, like you said.
Yeah.
He ran the 97 in V8 for a while. I think he had the 1 and the 97 were his two numbers over there.
They said
if I'm-
before that there was some team car that he raced that was 888, which I think is some like famous Australian team car or something in
I don't know.
IMSA.
But
There is an SVG 88 attachment, but I think the 97 is way more.
I really
prevalent to
liked
his
the
career.
97.
I do too.
Yeah,
And
I
it
think
looked
fit
good.
fine with 99,
And-
97.
And when Ty Gibbs came up and kept his 54, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I liked that a lot.
that's his identity. I
Yeah.
think of the
I've been
54,
saying
I
that
think of
for
Ty
years.
Gibbs.
And of course, I buy yet another number that gets thrown away.
Shit, I do too.
I got
Son of a bitch.
Noah merch with the wrong number on it.
Yeah.
Now I got SVG merch with the wrong number on it.
This
is crap.
I don't have a huge problem with it. I think it's kind of cool. Someone brought this up, and I kind of see a very loose connection. But remember, Ty Norris is all a part of this, so Dale Jr. connection there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know, but that's not DEI connection. I don't know.
It's more of connecting Connor Zilic in the 88 Xfinity car
Maybe.
to the 88 Cup car now.
Also true.
It connects. I got a lot of RCR vibes from this. Is legacy means we're just trying to steal some of the fame of that number.
I kind of feel. I
And I
felt
saw
that a
Justin
little bit.
Marks kind of just like, well, Junior, everybody look, 88 Junior.
And then-
Think of Junior.
And then, like an hour before the announcement, Junior tweets out how excited he is for
Right,
this
because they had to
announcement.
acquire the 88 from Hendrick, which
Yeah.
I'm sure involved Junior.
Probably.
Because that was Junior's number.
Oh, they
he
didn't have to
brought
get it
the
from
team.
Hendrick.
Hendrick was the most recent owner of it. I'm pretty sure they probably still
No, they
own
only
it.
own the font. They don't own numbers.
They own the design of the number.
They own NASCAR says yes, you can use the 88. They can ask permission, like, hey, are you guys okay with this? But the team does not own the number.
I thought the team owned the number.
Nope. The team owns the trademark for the font, what the 88 looks like. When they turn around and change what the number looks like, they can do what the fuck they want. Like when
I thought-
Teresa threw a fit about the 1, they put the slash through it. She can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but they bought the number from Chip Ganassi. Teresa didn't.
They
own
don't
the
buy
one.
numbers.
I could have sworn they owned
No.
the numbers because I thought
Numbers are not owned by teams.
It was when Junior got the 88, they had to purchase it from Robert Yates, who was still paying for it.
Trademark only.
Trademark.
The only thing that they would have to pay for or buy from or get it from another team would be a trademarked font. That's it. The numbers themselves are completely owned by NASCAR.
I didn't think it was. I thought the teams own the numbers.
Look it up if you want to fact check me. Promise you. I promise.
Because I remember they said a thing about Joe Gibbs is still paying for the 18 now.
Font only. Again, just a trademark. The actual number itself is owned by NASCAR. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see him go cup racing. I mean,
100%.
it's a 50-50 shot. He's going to win at pretty much every road course.
The number just fogged up the news for me a little bit.
I know. I don't love
that was
it.
out of left field.
I don't hate it.
SVG going cup racing? Fuck yeah, dude. Do I care what number he's in? No. I don't
Exactly.
give a shit.
That's where
He
I
could
am.
be in the 999999 car. I don't. Or it could have an X on the door.
I would love it if he kept the 97. I don't love the 88. I'll get used to it.
The 88's just it was just a weird swing,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because they were kind of doing the whole theme of the 1, the 99, the 91.
I wish they kept
And
the
then
91.
He goes Xfinity Racing. Well, I'm sure they want to keep that as their prototype car
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I was like, oh, dude, the 97, that like fits their mold.
I thought it would have looked sick.
And like it's in the ballpark. It's the Justin Marks. He said we like to keep the numbers between 1 and 99. So all the fucking numbers,
Yeah.
zeros off the table.
I don't love duplicate numbers, duplicate digits.
I think they look fine. Like there's a couple that look odd. Like 66 looks weird to me.
44 looks weird to me.
44. If it's in the right font, like Alpha Primes, I think the 44
The
looks
11,
fine.
11 always looks good because
Yep.
11's fine. But like, I don't love 77. I don't love
It's that font.
88.
Because that 7 font, like the Spire font,
Yeah.
needs to be singular. Like
Yeah.
Corey's number looks great.
That's why the
singular.
71 doesn't look bad.
It only worked with 78 because that was their identity. But like go back to Dave Blaney, the 77 Jasper car, that number looked sick.
I'd have to see it.
It was
I
almost
can't
like a
picture it.
Penske looking number.
Yeah.
Really good article from June of this year on the Daily Downforce about the whole number situation.
Great site.
Kyle is right. Put simply, NASCAR owns the car numbers and allows teams to use them. Every year, NASCAR and its teams in each series agree to lease specific numbers for on-track use. The lease comes with rules about like the numbering system, 0 to 99, but it could be like 00 or 09. You can't share numbers. You can have a number without a charter. NASCAR technically owns the numbers. The teams have a say in what numbers they use based on availability. Then it talks about like why certain teams pick stuff like Front Row doing 34, 36, 38, you know?
Yeah.
And then it brings up the Dale Jr. thing. It talks about retiring numbers, and it says teams can also transfer or sell the number to another team. A notable example was the frequent discourse between fans in 07 about whether Jr. would continue to race the 8 car at Hendrick Motorsports. Unfortunately for loyal fans, the 8 car DEI would hold on to the number, and following season, HMS would have the Robert Yates Racing 88 transferred to them for the 08 season.
Yeah.
So
And
we
then
were
it says,
both
and
right
then it says
because
that
it was
being said,
Oh, they
still
don't
consider
They're
Robert
lease.
Yates Racing,
They're under a lease.
yeah, they're leasing.
which is one of the things I said.
Yeah, and it says that being said, you may be asking yourself, didn't Dale Jr.
At no point did you
recently
say
get,
lease.
I 100% did go back.
I don't remember him saying lease.
I said because I use that as an example. They lease it every year.
Okay, I don't know.
Like Joe Gibbs leased the 18
But then,
again
to
this
Kyle's
year.
point, that being said, you may be asking yourself, didn't Dale Jr. recently get rights to the 8? This is true. However, this is an entirely different type of ownership. Dale Jr. has applied to retain the trademark for the design of the 8 from his DEI days, not the number currently run by RCR. In another example, while Colleague Racing has the 31 car, they cannot use the classic RCR 31 as typeface, for the 31 is trademarked by RCR.
Yeah. Most of the time, the rules are the number has to be on track for your lease to carry on. You can't just sit on a lease. That's why Teresa, what was it? Was it Erica Marola that ran the 8 after Junior left for like that one season, which was really weird.
Yeah, Mark Martin did too, I think, at one point.
Yeah. It has to be on track, or else it just goes
But
right
as
back to
far as I
NASCAR.
understood it, yes, NASCAR owns the numbers, but the teams, like Joe Gibbs, you have to go to Joe Gibbs if you want the 18. You have to go talk to Hendrick if you want the 88.
Yeah,
like, for
they're
years-
they're all different lease terms, but you don't own it.
Until when did Austin Dillon come?
Well, and
2012.
some of it was also
Richard Childress owned that 3 until 2012. No one else could use it,
some of it is
even if you change the font.
also about respect too. I know there was a whole thing. I think it was when the 28.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
very
with
Junior
Davey.
was talking about that as well.
Yes.
it's
And
a
that's
very
when they landed on the
loose.
88.
It's a loose thing.
Yes.
NASCAR has the ultimate say. Nobody owns it. You are borrowing it, leasing it from NASCAR, and they can just say,
Right, but I
yeah,
think
piss off.
I think people have continued to lease numbers after retirement or whatever.
All right, now we're just splitting hairs. Let's keep going. All right. Anything else we want to touch on in news?
Well, we had some rumors / might as well be confirmed.
Yeah.
So we had
the old rumor mill.
So we got some rumor mill action. Apparently, according to Jordan Bianchi, dropped a Bianchi bomb, and as much as we are annoyed when he does this, he's rarely wrong.
Yeah.
According to this, on the day you are listening to this podcast, there will be an announcement today about NASCAR going to Mexico City in 2025. Apparently, Ben Kennedy and Daniel Suarez are set to make the announcement. That's been the worst kept secret in NASCAR.
Yeah,
I think
DBC confirmed it on the episode.
I think that's literally why we're waiting. We still don't have a schedule yet because they were still trying to iron all of that shit out. That goes along with. So there's been a lot of not fake schedules, but I've was it a week or two ago? Everyone was posting that one, the 2025 schedule, and it wasn't like official.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of confirmation. I know Kyle.
I'm pretty sure the one that came out that had the most tread was the one posted by NASCAR Mexico or
that
NASCAR
one.
Brazil.
Yes, that one. So that we've gotten a few. We don't have the full schedule yet, but I know two of our listeners, Just Bus and the Average Joe, both got their renewal letters from Dover for this year or for next year, and it has the date of like the middle of July. So that lines up with that schedule. Loudon screwed up a couple weeks ago and accidentally posted the website about the doubleheader weekend with the trucks returning in September for a playoff race, and then took it right down, but the internet never forgets. Everyone saw it. So that lines up with that schedule. I know I've heard the rumors. I was hearing rumors about Pocono in June when we were in Pocono.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that schedule's pretty freaking spot on. And then, obviously they've all had, like, Bowman Gray. That just got released, too. So I think that one that was posted by NASCAR Mexico is probably pretty spot on. Beef jerky. Oh, beef jerky. I was wondering why you got up so fast. Had a pee. Oh, I didn't even know you went pee. I just thought you got up really fast to get beef jerky.
He found that beef jerky in the bathroom.
Oh.
I made it.
So that
He was drying meat
Back,
in the bathroom.
back of the toilet.
So I wouldn't be surprised if after the Mexico thing, because apparently that was a big hang-up from what we've been hearing, wouldn't be surprised if we see
Right,
the
because
full...
I think they were saying Montreal was the fallback.
Yes, they were still working on Mexico, and if it didn't work, Canada was going to be a fallback. So I would expect, judging by if this was the hang-up and if they're going to announce it this week, I would bet the rest of the schedule will be very quickly to follow, because we are almost in September, and we still don't have a schedule yet.
Yeah.
Feels like last year, all over again.
Yeah, all over again.
Other rumor mills kicking around. I did see one today that I thought was kind of cool. It was in our Discord this afternoon. Apparently, there was a job posting somewhere. Joe Soul posted this. NASCAR appears to be building a 24/7 TV channel. The NASCAR channel is hiring currently. NASCAR did not provide comment, but did confirm that the online job posting is real.
I'll send you my resume right now.
Yep. So the channel is called Fast, I think they
Fast,
said.
yeah.
Which I'm guessing is like their new version of the Speed channel.
Hopefully.
Which I'm all here for. My one question with it is, are the rights going to allow them to replay races and stuff?
I would think so, because
I hope so.
NASCAR
Because
owns
typically
the
it
rights.
was like Fox Race Hub would replay Fox races.
Yeah, but think about what do we see at every NASCAR race?
Because I just want to turn on the
are owned
TV
by
at
NASCAR.
freaking midnight, and there'd be like, "Oh, Daytona's replaying." On the
Yes,
Speed
I bet
channel,
you it would
Fast
be.
channel.
I bet you it will be.
That'd be sick.
They'll probably run like NASCAR Classics. Oh,
Doesn't matter to me because I got YouTube and
yeah, same.
I have the fancy subscription. So when I go on NASCAR Classics, I just watch all of them.
Yeah, you don't need
Sunday
a fancy,
morning.
You don't need a fancy subscription to do.
Oh,
that.
yeah, you can do them on YouTube now, too.
Yeah, they're all over YouTube.
Yeah. Sick.
But I'm all here for it.
Yeah, for sure. That'd
Yeah,
be sick.
so that will be really cool. Yeah, I'm in too. I'll send them my resume right now.
All right. Shall we get into some racing?
Sure.
All right. The race weekend was a little
Confusing?
topsy-turvy, if you will, with
Bro, I didn't even know there was a truck race until right before the Cup race when they were talking about truck qualifying. I was like, huh?
I was looking at the weekend schedule, and it was like Cup race 7:30 Saturday night, and it was like it had a Sunday option. I was like, the hell's on Sunday? And then Sunday was like all truck stuff. I was like,
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter like 2 hours before the Cup race, just catching up on pre-race stuff, and I was like, wait, why are people talking about truck qualifying? I was so confused.
yeah, I saw something
So
like
the-
doubleheader Milwaukee and Daytona. I was like, Milwaukee?
Yeah. Milwaukee. So the trucks raced at the Milwaukee Mile for the Luna 175.
Another one?
Lanai.
Yep. Leuna.
Leuna.
I hate how it's all capitals with a lowercase I. It really bothers me. Yeah, I mean, super clean race overall. Ty Dillon wins stage 1. Christian Eckes takes the second stage. But Lane Riggs plays spoiler to the first playoff race, by taking home his very first checkered flag by over a second and a half.
Yeah, he dislocated the winner of that race.
I watched none of this race, but I saw the video of his celebration, and that looked miserable.
Yeah. So Lane Riggs, driving the Front Row Motorsports 38 truck that we were talking about just a few moments ago, gets his first career victory, hops on top of the truck, celebrating, throwing his hands in the air, and pops his shoulder out of socket.
I saw somebody say he wouldn't have survived the Jersey Shore in the early 2000s.
That's awesome. I love that. But what a savage move. He has one of his crew chief, his crew members, whatever, holding his arm, and he pops it back into place.
It's an ongoing issue. He had a collarbone injury in 2018, and they said ever since then, it frequently pops out, so they are like trained to put it back in.
Imagine having an injury where if I move my arm too fast, my shoulder dislocates.
Yeah.
Like,
that is my nightmare.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like, he does it. So he's up on the truck and he's throwing his hands up, and you see him, he recoils like, you can tell he's in pain. And then, I saw the video, the crew's huddling around him, and one of his crew guys has his right arm like out straight, and you can see him twist, and it pops back in. Then the crew steps back, and they're all like, yeah!
They all just pause for a second. Like, yeah!
It was so great.
Awesome. So good for him. Happy to see him get his first career victory. Love those. We'll have another one of those shortly.
That was the first of the weekend of father in NASCAR. Son wins first race.
That was actually the second.
Well, technically, that was the That was the second.
Yep, that was the second.
Scott just completed the trifecta of family wins that mean.
But he plays spoiler in the first race of the first round of 10 for the truck race, truck series.
No.
He plays spoiler.
That would be why he's the spoiler.
Yep. So right now we are looking at the cut line for the truck series. Raja Caruth and Ben Rhodes both below the cut line by 4 and 2 points respectively. Grant Enfinger and Daniel Dye are the two above the cut line, 2 and 9 ahead. So we will see how things shake out. We will not see the trucks on track for almost an entire month.
Jesus.
We won't see them until the 19th of September at Bristol Motor Speedway.
So dumb.
On a Thursday night.
That's
which is kind of sick.
I love those.
Trucks on a Thursday, sign me up.
Getting home from work on a Thursday and going, I have something to watch.
Yeah, that's sick. I just the almost month break. Like, how do you get in a rhythm? Imagine being in the playoffs and it's like, imagine you're in the, imagine you're in like the NHL playoffs and they're like, hey, by the way, you're taking a month off.
Yo, Roval is like 45 days away.
Yeah,
and that race is 3 weeks after.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Like 2 weeks after. Sorry.
That's insane.
All right. Whatever. All right. We'll move on to Daytona. We will start with Saturday night. Sorry, Friday night. The Wawa 250 powered by Coca-Cola Xfinity race.
Best race name ever.
Yeah.
Was this was the race a couple years ago where they had like 5 Wawa cars, all the different drinks.
Yeah,
they were all like that fade.
Yeah, they were all the different like refresher drinks. Those were sick.
Wawa usually doesn't miss with the paint scheme. They had Josh Balicki.
Balicki was in a
Wawa
car.
and Weatherman, I think.
Weatherman was also in one.
Oh, he was too? I don't think I saw that one.
He was the one who did better.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people got in trouble pre-race. Justin Allgaier, Anthony Alfredo, Kyle Sieg, Joey Gase, Akinori Ogata, Jeb Burton, Riley Herbst, Blaine Perkins, Matty D all failed inspection twice.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, clearly. And also, our boy Mr. Larry Mack was back high atop the pit box on Friday night.
I did not know that.
Yep, for Jordan Anderson. Get himself another top 10.
That's cool.
Larry Mack the God.
I was disappointed at the end of that race that I didn't know Jordan Anderson was in it.
Yeah.
Because he's one of those guys I love to root for because he's such a cool dude and like obviously like underdog story of the team and stuff. And like they finished the race and interview him and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I missed all
wish I
that.
knew he was here the whole time.
I was getting bats out of my belfry. I was so fucking mad, dude. And then, like I said, to sit down and rewind, I'm like, all right, now I get to watch what happened.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't. I didn't even bother watching the end. I was like, you know what? If I turn this back on, another one's going to fly in. It's just how it's going to work.
A whole bunch of people getting a wreck on lap number 2 also.
I thought it was lap 1.
That was lap 1.
That was the first corner.
That was turn 3 lap 1.
Or turn 3,
yeah. What was it? Jeffrey Earnhardt getting into Jeremy Clements, I believe it was.
No, I think that was
No, that was the first one. I think
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy checked up or something, and Jeffrey did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people involved in
Including
that.
Austin Hill.
Right. Austin Hill
Hate it for
had
him.
trouble
No, I
on
don't.
pit road with their steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The buttons on his steering wheel weren't working, so they swapped that out, and I think they had to fix something else on it. Like they had to fix something on the column or the wiring on the column or something.
They got sent to the back.
So they made it out of pit road and caught up to the pack in time, technically to get their spot back. But I think they chose to just stay in the back, not to confuse anything. And NASCAR's like, all right, yeah, you made the right decision. Because it was foggy on the broadcast whether NASCAR told them to or if they just opted to. Because
Opted to chill back
it was kind of just like they caught up in time to do pit road to do the pit speed and then kind of just stayed in the back when realistically they probably should have flown up to the front.
It's like an iRacing when
But they
someone's
just
like, just
stayed
give me
in
an
the back,
EOL.
and they're like, oh, it'll work out better. We'll just stay safe back here.
Wrong.
And only a couple laps later after that, Mr. Gus Dean blows an engine.
Kaboom.
Driving the AM Racing number 15.
Right. Well, he was in that first lap incident.
Yep.
And unfortunately stuffed the entire nose of that car in.
Austin Hill tried to get back out there way behind pace, ends up going to the garage only 15 laps in or something like that.
Yeah, I think he made minimum pace, though. So I think they were able to repair that car.
Yeah. Allgaier holds off Mr. Chandler Smith to win the first stage. So Justin Allgaier takes the first one, followed by Chandler Smith, Dinger, Creed, Kligerman, Ryan Truex, Mr. Fast Pasta, Joe Graff Jr., Sammy Smith, and Jeremy Clements, your points getters in the first stage. Yeah, a couple weird ones. We had Alfredo get into the wall, gets into it with Jesse Love, and I think Sam Mayer was all involved in that one. Right at the end of stage 2, which Justin Allgaier also takes the second stage. Jesse Love and Brandon Jones not having fun bump drafting, going for a spin down the backstretch in the early stage 3. Good save by Sam Mayer towards the end of that race. Backstretch got super loose. Great save.
Yep.
Stays green there. Late race stack up. Late race stack up, I would say. Fast Pasta getting loose, stacking the field up there. Cesar Baccarella's in it. Clemens, Earnhardt, Balicki, SVG.
A whole bunch of people in that one.
Everybody. Yeah. Now, what happened in the last lap there with Mr. Dinger and Parker Kligerman, Norm?
So the entire race, even though Allgaier won the first 2 stages, the Toyotas were definitely the strongest cars. All of Joe Gibbs Racing, 4 cars, they all qualify in the top 6. The only weakness was AJ Allmendinger and Parker Kligerman seemed to work the best together.
They were working really well together.
They were, once they got bumper to bumper, those 2 cars were just controlling a lot of that race. And unfortunately for them, they go into turn 1 on the final white flag lap. And I think PK at this point in time decides he's on the bubble. He just got the penalty. He needs to win this race. So PK jumps low to pretty much pass the 16 and the 20 who's in front of him to project himself into the lead. And unfortunately, AJ, I don't think he was throwing an egregious block. I think AJ thought, the 48's going low. I'm going to go low with him. And unfortunately turned off his nose. The white flag's already been taken. Spins into the infield and comes right back up on track. Luckily, thank God no one hits him.
Oh, yeah.
Jeb Burton came by with a head of steam.
I can't believe no one got in there. But yeah, caution comes out.
Unfortunately, it was one of those cautions that NASCAR can't win in this situation.
No.
He spins the infield. You're like, okay, maybe he just spins, and they keep going.
As soon as he comes
but he turns
back
up to the track, comes flying across the track, narrowly avoids getting hit by 3 cars, and then they throw the yellow.
Yep.
So it's now you kind of threw it too late.
Yep.
To now, it's I feel like we could have raced back to the line because people had already passed him.
Right.
But it was like a lose-lose for NASCAR, unfortunately.
If they throw it when he's in the grass, they're throwing it too early and everyone's pissed.
Right.
If they throw it when they did, everyone's like,
too late.
Everything's already happened.
Everything's already happened. We could have kept going.
Right. He hit it a ton, so it's fair. It's one
fair.
of those situations you have to mind the safety of the drivers.
Absolutely. Because if he's knocked out in that thing.
It's just, this is, I feel like over and over and over again, we're getting cautions on the white flag lap, and it's kind of just ruining what could have naturally been a good finish. On the bright side, Ryan Truex won this race.
Yes.
Yep.
And I know we're all fans of him. I know a lot of people are fans of him and want to see him
I like
get more
that kid.
opportunities. So hell yeah for Ryan Truex.
Yep.
And we got another Ryan Truex, Martin Truex Jr. celebration.
I saw that in Victory Lane. Yep.
And we got the most Truexy front stretch interview of all time.
Oh my God.
I love this family, dude.
They are just like, there is zero emotion. They could like win the lottery and they'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, car was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was
chill.
a good ticket.
Yep. He could literally get either of the Truex brothers could win like the $1 billion Powerball.
It's funny because
like,
Junior, obviously, every time he talks about Truex
Gonna get a new fishing rod.
on his podcast,
I love when he talks about Truex.
he describes the whole family, and he's just like, the baseline is so low, and it never gets above it.
Driving somewhere with Martin Truex sounds miserable. Like, have you heard Junior talk about like going on road trips with him, and he just doesn't talk at all?
Doesn't talk and like doesn't want music.
Doesn't want music playing and just doesn't talk.
But Junior talks about him, and it's like they can't all be like that. Like Truex, Martin has to be the anomaly. Like he has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be just like the steady one, because Ryan is funny on Twitter and stuff like that.
He has a personality.
Seems like he has a personality, but he gets out of the car and it's like
It could have been Martin.
All of the Truexes are the same.
It could have been
I
Martin
wanna meet their dad.
giving that interview.
Because he just gets out of the car and he's like, "Yeah, it's great. We won again. I'm really looking forward to hopefully securing a ride for next year, and I'm gonna go grab my flag now."
Also, somebody pointed out that he looks like the Geico caveman, and I can't unsee it now.
He really does.
I can't unsee it.
He really does.
He's on DBC this week. I listened to like 15 minutes of it. It came out right before I got here, and he's on it with them.
Yeah.
Filling in for Brett, and he's like, "I forgot my hat." They're like, "That's the most hair flips we've ever seen in an interview before,"
Yeah.
because he's just constantly getting his hair out of
Yeah.
his face.
No, I really.
Yeah, my helmet hair is insane.
I want to see him. I want to see him with a ride. I want to see him go places.
I
in
can't
this
believe
sport.
Martin can't pull more strings.
Yeah. Oh, that was also I saw in the news. I thought I saw something that the Truex running in the 500 is all but done.
All but done,
All
quote
but
unquote.
done.
Mhm.
Assuming for
Yeah.
2311,
Probably.
going to be in the 67 or the 51 car, whatever
Whatever,
they decide
yeah.
to do next year. Another strong rumor is, I just thought of it to go with your colleague thing, saying that colleague, or you said it is all but signed for that other car.
Yeah.
Supposedly Ty Dillon's coming back to the Cup ride.
Oh, good.
I saw that somewhere that has a lot of tread, and like people are like confident that's going to be their announcement.
Hemrick out, Dylan in.
Yeah.
Gross.
So you're going from bad to bad?
Grandpapa, I need some money, yeah.
Jesus.
I did my year of punishment
I
in the
hope
truck
not.
series.
Jared, I see you in the chat. There's your. Oh, there it is. Yeah, literally as I'm saying it, Ty Dillon mentioned. Our resident Ty Dillon fan.
Tyler Page, sorry he's late, building a desk.
Good
Good
for him.
dude. Proud of you.
Study up, brother.
Hit the books.
Carter
nerd.
Hopley trophy hunting.
It's so bad.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it's rough. But hey,
Their paycheck.
congrats to Ryan Truex, as always.
Yep. Love to see it. Like we said, fingers crossed he gets a full-time ride. We know at this point Joe Gibbs has like nobody signed for next year that we know of. So hopefully he's in one of those cars.
Yeah.
Not that I love the Joe Gibbs organization, but I mean, you want to win in the Xfinity Series, get in a Joe Gibbs car.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's head to Saturday.
Breaking news. I would like to go to right now at Martinsville Speedway.
Okay.
The MX-5 Miatas are doing a mock race right now.
Nice.
Under the lights. That's so cool.
Hell
That
yeah.
is such an
Thank
iRacing
you,
thing.
Moonhead, for
That
this.
is such an iRacing thing to just come to life.
I love it.
Yep.
Love it. All right. The Coke Zero Sugar 400. What did you guys think of the race overall?
Loved it.
First of all,
Uh-oh.
before we even get into this race,
Soapbox.
Lee
Here we
Diffie.
Oh, Lee Diffie.
I was going to save the Lee Diffie for the end.
No,
Okay.
I'm giving it start of the race. We
That
can
man
applaud
needs
him
his
again at
flowers.
the end.
Okay.
We can applaud him every stage. We can applaud him after every news thing that comes up from this race. This was, I think, the best broadcast of the year so far. This race was fantastic. He called it fantastically. And honestly, it was the most entertaining Daytona race start to finish I think we've had. In a while.
I was
Yeah,
worried.
I agree with that.
I mean, we've seen it with every plate race. Well, not plate race. They're always going to be a plate race to me.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it at the 500 this year. We've saw it at Talladega. You get into that fuel savings when they're running around at 175 miles an hour, 2x2. No one's doing anything. We said it all in the first stage while we're watching it. It was 3 wide the entire first stage. Well, we were all thinking because they can go a full stage on one tank of fuel, no one has to save anything, so they're being dumb right now. I said it in Discord. I was like, stage 2 is probably going to be a snoozer because they're going to go into fuel saving mode.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Piss poor wrong. This was the most entertaining speedway race in a next gen car, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it was fantastic.
We said, sorry, Kyle. We said after the Daytona 500 that from our seats, it looked like a very exciting race because we didn't know they were saving fuel.
Exactly.
Even watching the broadcast, knowing that they're saving fuel, it was still an exciting race to watch.
Yeah.
I apologize. I said sorry.
I know you did.
You were there in spirit.
Yeah.
Your scanner was there.
Yeah.
Technically, there's probably nobody in your seat.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know because we didn't go anywhere near our seats.
Yeah, it's true.
Bro, I don't like when you go to a track and then they go back that year and I got wicked FOMO. I was like, oh.
Dude, I was so mad.
Like-
when they did like the first
I could
shot
have
of the
gone back if
broadcast
someone
was,
put my
like,
tickets
over-
in for.
The first shot of the
guarantee.
broadcast was over the Exalta entrance. I was like,
I was like, we went in there.
I'm like, we went up those stairs.
What got me was the sunset because the sunset during the 500 was sick and during the duels too. And I was like, oh, those Daytona sunsets just hit different.
I bet it was a little warmer this weekend than when we were there, though.
Probably.
Yeah, I would imagine so. All right. So getting into the race there, for the first time, Front Row Motorsports is Front Row
On the
Motorsports.
front row. Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. They show up with speed more often than not now.
McDowell was outside pole of 500, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I posted he has the best average qualifying position out of any Ford right now, too. I posted as soon as qualifying, it was like 5 minutes after qualifying got finished, that Zane Smith announced that he's not returning to Trackhouse. It's like he saw how good they qualified. He wants to go back. Front row secures the 2 front spots for the summer Daytona race. Zane Smith's like, I'm quitting Trackhouse. I'm going back.
Tyler Page in the chat saying pickle car mention.
Yeah, that's a joke that he's trying to make. You weren't in Loudon. You can't make that joke.
Yeah.
It was me and Joe Sanchez. Every time the pickle car went by, we just yelled pickle car.
Oh.
And we were doing it in Discord the other night. Every time
If you haven't had Grillo's pickles, go have them. They're the greatest things ever. Dan and I were on the Grillo's pickle train
long
a long time. I was on the pickle train when it was a cart.
You know what Steph's addicted to from them? The pickle de gallo.
Oh my God, it's
She's addicted
amazing.
to that shit.
I will main vein that
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
But anyway, all right, getting into the race there. People to talk about. Josh Berry.
Dude.
Pretty much all of Stewart Haas.
Yeah?
Honestly, yeah,
I think
Briscoe was up there for a
Noah
while.
was the only outlier. He qualified like 14th, but the other 3 were in the final 10.
Somebody, I think
The
it was in
Fords
first-
showed up.
I think, dude, the Fords were unbelievable.
First stage, 8 out of the top 10.
Yeah, the Fords
1
were,
through 8.
and at one point, I mean, I was wondering where the Toyotas were because I think Bubba was the only Toyota in the top 10 for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was part of the way through the first stage, somebody in Discord was like, who's that black car on the bottom? I was like, that is Briscoe. He was leading the bottom line. Like, he was charging up through there. Barry was up front all night long.
Yeah.
Until
they
he wasn't.
They brought some speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So good to see the 4-car running well and Josh Berry doing well there.
Michael Carteropoli. I was on the pickle train when it was a cart. Dude, you were on the Mayflower.
They pickled everything back then.
They had to. It was called preserving.
Well played. Thank you.
That was perfect.
Put that pickles in salt.
All right, let's get the first wreck out of the way here.
I don't want to.
Which one was the first one?
I don't
There
want
were
to.
so many.
I mean, I guess Chastain turned first.
Technically. Well, did Gregson turn first?
It started with Gregson like just tank swapping down the backstretch. Corey got into him and he spun, which hooked Denny and then hooked Ross. So I think Noah was the first one.
Everybody.
sideways.
It seemed like that whole line got clogged up.
Yeah.
And
the replays weren't very good.
Ross-
we complained about this when we were watching it because everyone is quick to blame Corey for
oh my
everything
God.
these days.
It's ridiculous.
But we're like, it's hard to realize what happened when they're zoomed in on the freaking contingencies on the front of the fork or the
10 car.
10 car.
Yeah.
It's like we can't see what's happening.
The replay that I saw that made me rethink, because I originally in our Discord, me and Norm were defending Corey because half our listeners have decided to hate him now.
You guys got to get off of the Corey hate.
They're all, Corey, you fucking blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, I think he was getting pushed because you know how close all these guys are. The wrecks start from 5 cars back.
Yeah.
And then they showed that one replay where Larson was 10 feet off of Corey's bumper. And I'm like, oh, maybe Corey did fuck up. And then like a half an hour later, we get the infield care center interview with Denny, and they show Denny's onboard with Larson pile driving Corey. Then he hits Noah. Noah gets out of shape. Corey hits him again because I don't think he could let off. I don't know if he couldn't let off in time or whatever. The bump from Larson bumped Corey into Noah, got him out of shape, and started that whole thing. Now, did Larson get bumped from behind him? I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't get a clear. That's where we needed like a blimp shot of like the entire pack so we can see where the energy came from. I don't think Corey just drove up and pile drive Noah, and then I didn't think that from the start.
Yeah.
Then when I saw that Denny replay, I was like, yeah, he got hit from behind coming out of the corner. It catapulted him forward into the 10, who I think the 1 and the 10 were already a little out of shape at that point.
I think there was like one replay that I saw. I think the 1 changed lanes or something like that, and the 10 maybe have reacted to it or checked up to it.
Yeah.
Because I think Noah wasn't lined up with the 1, and I think that's what started Noah's kind of messy situation he was in. He wasn't lined up to hit the 1, so I think he backed off, and that's when the Corey hit really sent him.
And that was right when Larson drove Corey forward, and it was just. That's the thing. Everyone jumped. I mean,
Tyler Page in the chat. Larson was a weapon. Yeah, he was.
Larson was a weapon the whole night as a Larson
Which
fan.
is expected when you go to Daytona.
Yeah. But that's the thing is everybody all night with not even just this Corey wreck, but there was another wreck I saw when people were blaming Larson. And I'm like, dude, that started 5 cars behind him.
Yeah.
That's how it is at these races. These cars are inches apart. And I mean, we've never done it, but even on iRacing, you get behind someone, you can't see what's in front of them. If you're the 5th car in line, you can't see that the car 2 cars ahead of them is checking up because all you see is spoiler.
You're relying on spotters, and you got to think going down the backstretch, you're 3 wide. The spotters can't see exactly what cars are doing what because they're all on top of each other.
Yeah.
So it's a chain reaction deal. Unfortunately, Corey just can't stay away from these.
He can't,
so
and it
he's
sucks.
getting the short end of the stick when it comes to blame.
From no DNFs last year to this.
Yeah, it's
and he's going on probably like 7 races in a row where something's happened.
Yeah.
Well, and it's at the worst time ever since Pocono and all the Corey hate train has started. Every week there's something where he's involved, and it's whether it's his fault or not. They could be wrecking in front of him, and he could get caught up in it, and people will go, "Look for Corey with the ARCA brakes." You know, it's just everyone's just piling on the train, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. So a whole mess of cars collected in that. Chastain's in it. Bowman's in it. Gibbs, Corey, Austin Hill, Denny, John Hunter, Eric Jones, Chase. Yeah, keep going. Whatever.
Braxton tried to drive it back. What the hell happened to Chase? His car looked perfectly fine, and then he gets out of the car and he's like,
Chase looked perfectly fine. I don't think Denny looked like he had that much damage either.
Denny, I think had a good amount of suspension
Denny was
damage.
beat up.
Who had suspension damage was Noah. Did you see him trying to get that thing back to the pit?
Yeah.
And
It was crab walking, and then they cut to him like a lap later, and he's 90 degrees at the entrance of the turn. Like, oh, that didn't last.
That didn't last very long.
No,
yeah.
no, it did not. We get going after that. Shortly thereafter, we have the weird threefer.
This is 2 weeks in a row we've had a weird 3 things happening at the same time.
Yeah, just like you said, things in threes.
Last week it was 3 tires blowing within 30 seconds of each other.
Eric Jones in the low teens blows out a tire. Martin Truex blows a tire, and Shane Van Gisbergen blows up.
So I thought when this all happened real time, I thought Jones blew up because I couldn't see like the sparks, but I saw the smoke and I was like, oh, Jones is blowing up. And then they cut to like the backstretch, and I don't think that's what it was. And you can't see anything because it's so smoky. And then they show SVG. So then it's like 3 replays later, you see Truex 10 football fields behind everybody with a tire down. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
I was like, was something in the track? Like, but
that's a lot of
they're
people,
too separated.
Yeah, people were talking.
Right, Truex was riding around in 30th.
Yeah, he was
when
way
he blew
back.
a tire.
He blew a tire. Well, didn't he have damage from the first wreck? I think that was what was speculated.
Yeah, because he blew like 2 more tires throughout the race.
I think Jones, had some damage from that wreck too. I think might have been
that, or he got into the wall.
Didn't Joey or didn't because they kept cutting to the legacy in race reporter of Jimmy Johnson, and
who I pointed this out on Discord. I know he was at the race, but everything he said sounded pre-recorded.
It sounded like he was in a room.
It was just monotone the entire time. And yeah, oh my God, they're 3 wide. They're going for the lead. Jimmy Johnson. Yep. So the cars are 3 wide.
It sounded like he was in.
He was awful.
It sounded like he was
not
in
good.
a soundproof room 5 miles from the track.
Yeah, it was not
But
good.
it was just like his delivery just didn't sound.
Carter
natural.
Ropley in the chat says he thinks part of Jones's car went through the radiator of SVG.
That's
it
a
wouldn't have blown
theory.
up that quick.
That was too much of a
The front end
grenade.
of these cars are weird now. Like I don't think that opening goes right to the radiator.
It doesn't because that
goes into the
goes
duct
up.
into the intake.
I think
the radiator comes from underneath.
Letarte said it perfectly in the broadcast too, because instantly people were like, "Did something from Jones's car go through his oil cooler?" And Letarte was like, "If that had happened 2 laps ago, maybe, but it's not going to blow up like that from something hitting the oil cooler in 3
Yeah.
seconds.
A theory I had, other than the fact that it could have just been a crazy coincidence at the same time, which is probably what actually happened, is SVG knowing that he right foot brakes and uses the clutch. I'm wondering if he like saw Jones, went to check up, mashed the clutch, and maybe it over revved the engine at the exact moment. That's the only theory I had, just because he has a different driving style than everybody else.
I mean, we haven't seen a motor blow like that in a long time.
That's other than crazy coincidence. My only theory was maybe he money shifted, checking up.
That block became open concept after that. I would like to backtrack for a second, though, because it just reminded me, you forgot a very large thing that happened that has no explanation except really bad timing.
Why is it always I forget? Why can't you guys do something?
Because you have the race recaps in front of you and you don't give them to us.
Which one?
Because you're the adult in the room.
Yeah. The Daniel Suarez brought the Coke to the barbecue.
Was that before this?
Yes, that happened like 10 laps in.
That was the end of stage 1.
End of stage 1, yeah.
I'm only one line of notes away.
So, yeah, because that was the SVG was after, because I remember that one caught on fire too. And
the end of it was the stage 1 pit brakes was when Suarez exploded.
So they come into the pits, and then all of a sudden they went to commercial, and they come back, and Suarez's entire back of the car is on fire.
Yeah.
We're all like, what the hell? And then they show the replay of it, like a little bit on fire, and then a little bit more on fire, and then a lot of bit on fire. So then we're all sitting there like, what, did the fuel leak? Did it catch a weird spark? Like, what the hell happened? That in-car was scary.
That was the most freak thing I've ever seen.
They end up showing on the broadcast.
I don't know if that could ever be duplicated.
Yeah, for those that didn't see it, they show it on the broadcast of the camera that they have hanging over Suarez's pit. They showed it like a camera zoomed in on the monitor on
over someone's shoulder.
Over someone's shoulder. So Suarez pulls into his pit. He's at kind of an angle, but not too bad. Denny is pitted behind him. Denny's crew finishes first. Denny pulls forward and apparently doesn't know how to turn right.
Yeah, and like, who was it? Psycho Bob was like, oh, he didn't have room. Suarez was so deep in his pit stall, and Denny drove straight.
I don't know why he didn't have room,
I was
but
very
whatever.
confused. Neither of them looked like they turned out. And I get it. It's Daytona. Maybe the steering trim is a little different than normal. But it looked like neither of them made any effort to turn out of their pit box. They both kind of just assumed their exit would be straight, and it cost them both.
So Denny backs up, and at this moment, Suarez's crew is finishing their pit stop. The fuel man pulls the fuel can out, and like usual, fuel goes everywhere. It spills a bunch of fuel in the pit road.
Because NASCAR no longer has catch cans. The catch can is built into the fuel jug.
So Denny pulls forward again, but has to like let off because Suarez is trying to get out, and a flame shoots out of Denny's exhaust.
I think it was the first time, because I think it was when he put it into reverse.
Maybe. A flame shoots out of Denny's exhaust and catches the entire puddle of fuel on fire, which then goes up into Suarez's car, which is assumingly probably covered in fuel. You know, that back
just drained down the side
back
of
corner is probably coated in fuel. So it starts on the ground off of a backfire from Denny's car, and it just caught something. Because normally, I mean, we've seen fuel fires before. They burn out.
It probably caught whatever rubber is under there or any debris.
Electrical fires like Brad's.
Yep.
Where he just drove. Electrical fires don't typically go out like that.
Yeah.
And even Brad's went out. So Suarez's, I wonder if almost like no one really saw it, because I think if he had accelerated and sped up, it should have blown out.
He did a whole lap.
He did a whole lap.
It should have blown out.
And it just made it bigger.
It must have just all puddled up on the rear valence or whatever.
Something stupid.
Not a whole lot of wind on the back of that car.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that thing went up. That in-car, everyone was like saying that Suarez was calm as a cucumber, because he is. Like, he stops and he goes to pull the wheel off, but then he like puts it back on, like he maybe thought they were just going to put it out and he'd keep going. But then, like, you see the flames start, like, shooting over his shoulder, and he's like, I'm going to get out
When
now.
they interviewed him, that he mentioned he doesn't have a traditional rear-view mirror, so he couldn't see the flames. He just uses the digital one. So he couldn't see how bad it was.
The digital camera probably melted halfway down the backstretch, so he probably didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That car I've never seen, like, that diffuser was melted. There was, like, parts of the underneath, like,
the inner
down.
fender wells perfectly melted onto the tires.
Yeah.
It looked crazy. I think his fiance posted, or his wife now, his wife Julia, posted a picture of the car in the garage, and it was like, oh yeah, they weren't getting back racing.
No, yeah, you were like, maybe they can get back racing, and I'm like,
well, NASCAR like cleared it.
Yeah, they
They're
cleared
like
it.
they could come back because it wasn't damage from a wreck. I was like, they're approving this to get, because fire damage weakens everything. I'm surprised they would even approve that in the first place.
Right.
I'm surprised. I figured they'd be like, you're on fire, you got out of the car, you're done. But NASCAR's like, no, they could come back.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think NASCAR more felt bad than anything because they didn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah, it just was. I mean, that was the strangest. We've
That
seen
was so
fires
bizarre.
on pit road, like with the fuel
bizarre.
puddles. We've seen like guys do burnouts, leaving the pits in a lug nut, like in the old 5-lug days. The old lug nuts would like
or Ty
spark.
Gibbs and just drag your old gas can down
Yes,
pit road.
like the lug
set
nut
that
would,
on fire.
The lug nut would spark and ignite a little fire in pit road, but like it was just 1 in a million. Like if Denny stops a foot shorter and the backfire happens, it maybe doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
If Denny learns how to turn right and drive out of his pit box, this doesn't happen. Like
Yeah, so
it was
bizarre.
so weird.
Yeah. But we ultimately get to the end of stage 2 with Mr. Joey Logano taking the second stage.
Both stage ends, I went, how the fuck did we make it there? Like the last couple laps of each stage were so crazy with the pushes and the blocks and the moving. Both stages, I like exhaled and was like, I don't know how the fuck we just did that. Like how we finished.
Yeah, I'm watching both of them, like you said, and I'm like, there's people riding around like 16th to 18th, 15th, that area. I'm like, back the fuck out, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
get out of this
You
pack
could see,
right now.
especially in stage 2, the main pack got really small because a lot of people, like if they weren't near 10th, they were like, see ya. I'll just finish the stage.
Like stage 1, I think Chase backed out really quick.
Yeah.
Like I was watching him, he was right around that end because it was mostly the top 20 were in a pack, and then everyone else would spread out behind them. And there was a couple guys that was like smart, because you could just see them backing off.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, miraculously, they completed both stages without incident.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Then we start getting into some trouble.
Then we get the incidents later. And I said this to Carteropoli, which I was surprised that the wreck with Corey and Denny and all them didn't do this. This is how Daytona and Talladega work. We saw it at the 500 this year. If they wreck early, the rest of the race is boring. Like you get an early wreck like 10, 15, 20 laps in, everyone just rides from there on out. It's if you don't have anything in the first stage and the second stage, the end is a shit show. It's like everyone gets all brave,
Yeah.
you know? And it almost feels like that's what happened, even though we had that big wreck in stage, was it 2 when the Corey wreck happened? So
1.
Was that 1? Was that late 1?
No, beginning of 2.
I thought so. I
I
thought
was
stage
saying-
1
I thought it was
went.
2.
I thought stage 1 went problem free, and we were talking about it in Discord. I was like, we had a clean stage 1. Buckle up because it's about to get stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
'cause
did.
I think that incident happened when they were just about to like get into fuel mileage type of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the stage 3 one was
Well,
no
Denny
fuel
said that
mileage.
on his show today because his co-host was like, normally you like to ride around in the back if you feel it start getting kind of hairy, and he said he was up on the top lane, and he said the bottom lane was starting to get smaller and smaller, and he said in that moment he was already fuel saving. He said he was running around like half throttle. And he's like, what I saw from where I was sitting was that everybody was starting to move up. He's like, I think we were all about to get in a single file line and start saving fuel. And then the wreck happened.
Yeah.
That might have been the cause of it because, like we said, we didn't see that full replay, but it seemed like Ross had just jumped up. So that might have been the beginning of that.
Everyone trying to
incident, was
squeeze
Ross
into the
trying to
top
get to
line.
All right,
higher
let's
and higher.
keep moving here. We got John Hunter Nemechek going for a ride.
Kyle's getting impatient.
Oh, we're going backwards. John Hunter Nemechek going for a ride after
go
getting
over,
into it
please.
John
with
Hunter Nemechek also went backwards.
Justin Haley.
I don't know
Justin
how
Haley was aggressive
Dude,
out
he
front.
was pushing. I mean, that block that had the MJ reaction, I don't know if that's after this, when he jumped down. Who did he jump down in front of? Was that
Cindric?
I don't remember who it was, but he went from the top lane to the bottom lane, and then they showed Michael Jordan.
Wow.
And he was like, whoa! Like that, I thought he was dead. I thought he was done. He pulled in front of that bottom line was moving 10 miles an hour faster than him, and he's like, I'm just going to get in front of him. It's cool. Like he was aggressive. And that kid knows what he's doing here. Everyone calls that win a fluke win, but it was. But he runs really well at these races.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his strong suit in the Xfinity Series.
Yep.
That was probably the reason why Paulie was so strong in the
So
Xfinity.
when John Hunter went around, 2 things. Initially, I'm thinking, wow, that extra spoiler thing they added on the roof really did something because that car could have blown over. He went hauling ass through the pavement, and I'm surprised it didn't get air under it and flip. Just, like similar to Corey last week. The other thing was, and this comes in later too, I still don't like the fact that they paved all that, but it obviously helped.
Yeah.
I still think it looks weird and I don't like it, but it needed to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think later, that wreck we're going to talk about
was
here
the John
shortly.
Hunter wreck before the Josh Perry wreck?
Oh, yeah. John Hunter wreck was before.
So this was another one of the Larson incidents.
Larson was a weapon on this one.
Where Larson absolutely punted him and got him all squarely going down the backstretch. But yeah, We were applauding the spoiler or the rear wicker at that point.
I was like, damn, it actually did something. Look, that car stayed down.
Steve Letarte continued to until it was too late.
Until it was too late.
Yeah. Now let's just talk about the two other wrecks, the big ones.
Yeah, Jesus.
Start with the McDowell wreck. McDowell turned in front of the whole field.
So he's up on the high line.
He threw a bad block.
He's top of 3. He throws a late block on Cindric. Cindric punts him getting into 1. Is it 1? Yeah. And he just goes down the hill right in front of Logano.
T-bones the shit out of him.
The reason that car got up in the air was Logano hit him, but also he started getting down onto the apron. And you think if like the nose of the car gets on the apron, now there's this giant air pocket underneath the car.
Yeah.
That thing goes up in the air.
Well, when you get center punched by the 22 going 175 miles an hour.
That also didn't help either. I'm saying the combination of those two things.
Right.
But that thing went up in the air, and I still do not know how that came back down.
Bowman's car.
Yeah, it came down on Bowman's car. It started coming down before Bowman got there.
What I'm saying is it was almost completely upside down, and then it was like someone had a tow rope on it, and it was like, nope, come back down.
Yeah.
Like, that should have just kept going, and it didn't. He goes up the track. I'm glad it did come down, because if that got into the catch fence, we are talking a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
But he comes down.
That'll stop the race.
On Bowman's C-pillar.
Yeah.
Again, another lucky thing. If that's 2 feet forward, Bowman's getting a diffuser in the fucking face. Because that window net ain't stopping that.
Nope.
Yeah, we're going to find out if the window net stops it or not.
Yeah, dude, that was scary. Bowman's onboard is nuts. Did you see it?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You just see McDowell. You just see the car go up, and then you just hear bang, like behind, and Bowman, hell of a save, drifts down the track. I mean, obviously the apron helped him, but completely sideways, and then just straightens it out and keeps driving.
Nice.
After getting a car landing on you.
We'll have to look at it at the end.
It was pretty cool. Is it Basso on Twitter? Basso, the guy that posts all the onboards. He had his work cut out for him yesterday. He was posting shit all day. But yeah, this is just massive. Everybody's in this one.
Yeah. Bubba, McDowell, Logano, Haley, Larson, Blaney, Bowman, Reddick, Bell, Byron, Stenhouse, Cindric, Busher, all Austin Hill, all collected.
Shouts to Bowman's crew for somehow using all of the bear bond in existence to make a car.
I am shocked that car was somehow allowed to return.
Same.
And somehow not way faster than it should have been.
Because the spoiler was like this. The spoiler was laying down.
Yeah.
The whole C-pillar was bare bond. Wasn't like the deck lid bare bond. Like the whole back.
They tore the deck lid off.
His B-pillar, from his B-pillar back, was all bare bond.
Like that car was put back together with tape.
Like, literally.
And it wasn't, he ran for quite a while and was in the pack. Like after the Berry wreck, freaking Sanchez was like, Bowman's about to get a top 10 with a car made half of tape.
Yeah. Almost did.
Yeah. Larson had a huge hole in his door. I don't know how he was.
That was from the first incident.
Was that from the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So let's just get into the next one. Not too long after, I want to say 8 laps.
After they get going again, yeah.
Josh Berry goes for a ride, and that spoiler we were just talking about didn't help that time.
Yeah, it very much looked like the Corey wreck, just with another car involved. Yep. He got turned. Who did he go across the nose of?
I think it was the 20.
No, who spun with him? I don't remember. Was it Cindric?
Cindric?
I think it was Cindric.
I thought it was the 20, but it was another brightly colored.
I think Cindric spun with him, but basically Barry I think it was was it a block, or he got a good push and he just got out of shape?
I've seen this replay so many times, I don't even know how it started.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, all we're looking at is the aftermath.
He gets turned left, and he just goes for a ride again in the newly paved part. Very similar to where Priest wrecked. It actually looked a lot like Priest's, except it was farther down the straightaway.
Yeah.
He goes down into that pavement, and the air gets under the car, and it just goes up and over, lands on its roof, and he hits the inside wall with the nose just square. Like Corey hit with the door.
Yeah.
Right? Barry hits it square with the nose. The car does what are we watching it? Oh, we're watching it. It was Cindric.
Yeah.
Cindric in the Ryan Blaney throwback.
And this was
right. Oh,
like even before that, like everyone watching's like, oh, he's on his roof. He has angles still.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not like when Corey did it, when the 30-28 did it in the Xfinity race. It's like the angle they were going, like, okay, this isn't going to be that bad. But he had such a strong angle towards the inside wall.
Went straight into the wall. Yep. Yeah, how did this start?
A bad bump, maybe?
It looks like a bump from about 4 cars back.
Yeah, I want to see the replay.
Right there, it's like, oh my God, he's going for the inside wall.
Well, they didn't show the replay. What scared me is when they had the zoomed out camera. There's your replay. Back off. Right there. There's your replay. Byron,
yep.
Oh, no, it starts with Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah, Busch
Yeah.
gets into Cindric, yes.
Yeah, Busch
Kyle
into
Busch
Cindric,
washes
Cindric into the
up
4.
off the corner and then hooks Cindric when he comes back down.
But, I mean, when I saw right about here, I'm like, oh, no, he's going to hit the wall. And he stoves it right up to the front axle.
And we had good onboards of Corey's incident from last weekend when he flipped over. And Corey is one of those guys that he's always talking about, oh, I pulled the belt extra tight this time. I pulled the belts extra tight. And you could see in Corey's onboard when he flipped over how much he dropped out of the
sagged.
seat.
Yep.
And so you got to think he is suspended out of the seat and then takes a full frontal impact.
See, I never even thought about that. So in our Discord while this was going on, everybody was, I forget who it was. Somebody said they had the same feeling they had when Newman wrecked. And I was like, no way, dude. Like, that was so much worse. But I didn't think about the fact that he's suspended by the belts.
Yeah,
Like,
he's hanging by the belts and gets smoked.
That thought didn't cross my mind until someone brought it up, and I went, oh, shit.
My stomach
Good point.
dropped when I saw him nose in upside down.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, to be fair.
Thank God he climbed out and he said, yeah, it looks a lot worse than it felt. I was like, well, that's kudos to the car, but it looks real bad, dude.
Yeah.
Looks about as bad as it looks.
Looks pretty bad. And again, like I was thinking too, going back to the newly paved part, I think that flip happens and it's grass. We have a repeat of last year with Priest. I think that car digs in because it slid on its roof forever.
Yeah.
I think he goes up and over, lands, and that car just probably does exactly what Priest did last year.
The angle he had, we could have had like a Steve Park at Pocono incident.
Exactly.
Where it bounces up, lands on top of the wall, and does some crazy shit like that.
If that's
he was
grass,
pointing so far inside.
If that's grass, he digs in, and that thing probably rolls fucking 40 times, just like last year.
Yeah, and obviously that collects a whole bunch of cars as well. Eric Jones involved, Austin Cindric, Byron, Austin Dillon, Austin Hill, Gilliland, Zane Smith,
Dillon,
Cody Ware, Carson Hoserball are all labeled as involved in said incident, which brings us to another overtime.
So before we get away from it, obviously everybody is up in arms right now because this is 3 flips in 2 weeks. What do we do? Like, is there something to be done here, or
the
problem is
I know people as a industry fans, NASCAR fans, just latch on to the problem, and then they just beat it to a pulp.
Yep.
Like everyone thinks Corey LaJoie is the worst person in the world right now, and it drives me nuts. And people just latch onto these things and they just beat it to death.
As serious all week is probably all going to be. These cars are flipping too much. We got to keep them down.
You're going 190 miles an hour and you get turned by another race car and you go over. Like the Corey one is concerning,
yes,
because he didn't have a lot of help. This is a little concerning as well, but when you get turned and the cars, you can't prevent that. When there's another car involved, you cannot prevent it. The Xfinity one, Chandler Smith was involved and he was nose into that rear quarter, like right off that rear bumper. So the air is completely different. You can test these cars 97 ways to Sunday.
He'll find a new
blow
way.
air this direction, that direction, until you put multiple cars together and you just start stuffing them into each other at 200 miles an hour. Like, there's only so much you could do. Unfortunately, it is an unfortunate byproduct of going fast. The only thing they can do is make us go slower, and I really hope that they don't. Because look at these guys. They climbed out. Heaven forbid anything ever happens, but Josh Berry got out, had a conversation, was like, it wasn't as bad as it looks.
Well, and Denny was saying that. He's actually said it last week, and he reiterated it this week, that he goes, these cars have been flipping for decades. It's what happens. And he goes, you know what, as a driver, he goes, especially with the next gen, he goes, if you ask me, he goes, I would rather flip than hit a wall.
Yeah.
He goes, because when you flip, you're dissipating energy.
Yeah.
He was going off on a thing that if Berry didn't flip and went in that wall at the same angle, it'd be a lot worse, because I still think it's Denny thinking he's right, but he says you slow down when you flip because you think the car goes up.
That car looked like it gained speed.
It kind of did too because it's on the roof doing nothing. But
because the brakes are no longer helping.
In the chat as well, Carteropoli had his good point. The cars make downforce going forward. Reverse that in the opposite direction, and it's lift. I don't understand the uproar. Corey at Michigan had a 20-mile-an-hour headwind.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And
there's
Colin said at some point physics just takes over at those speeds, and that's spot on.
And that's Danny said that. He goes, the only way you stop this is if we do 150 miles an hour at Daytona, and he's like, I don't want to do that. So that's not, he's like, I don't want to go out and do that.
It's a risky sport. It's a dangerous sport. probably one of the most dangerous sports there is. This is going to happen.
Yep.
You're going 200 miles an hour with 40 race cars banging into each other, literally hitting each other down the backstretch to go faster. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It sucks. We don't want to see this happen. We don't want cars to flip over, but it is the unfortunate byproduct of going
And
fast.
also,
so do you want to go fast, or do you want to go slow and be safe?
And it's also magnified because we've had 2 tracks back-to-back weeks where you're going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we had Martinsville last week and someone flipped over.
This is really only going to happen at like 3 places, potentially. Talladega, Daytona, Michigan.
Maybe Atlanta.
I kind
I don't
of
think
doubt
they're
it.
going
It's so
fast enough.
heavily
True.
banked.
True.
And I don't think the straight's long enough.
True.
Pocono.
Maybe
Pocono.
Maybe
They're not really going
Pocono.
fast at Pocono anymore.
Nah, I guess they're not.
But I really think it's only those 3.
And,
I wouldn't-
outside of the freak like Joey flipping at Dover, like outside of the freak incidents, you know.
Right, or Jeb at Pocono on the front stretch.
Yes.
Yeah. People talk about, McDowell, we almost had a flip. He got fucking T-boned by Joey Logano, center punch, while he's going down the track.
Right, that's the excusable one for me. I remember when Harrison flipped at Daytona.
The first next gen race.
NASCAR was like, we designed these things, they'll never flip over again. Like, I remember they were
You can't
adamant.
make that claim.
They were adamant that they had figured out air. And then Harrison flips and like, it's because the 22 hit him. We couldn't ever predict that. Okay, or predicted, I mean. Okay, I'm okay with that. But the Corey incident last week was like, there is a clear issue here.
Nothing hit him and he flipped.
Like, I understand a bunch of cars get together, the air's all fucking discombobulated, and a car flips over. I get that. But a car all by itself spinning out, how has that not been tested? I understand the 20-mile-an-hour headwind, so that car's now going theoretically 230 miles an hour. I get it. But I just feel like by themselves, they should be able to figure out how to not make these cars flip over.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
testable.
Yes.
I don't think Cindric had enough in play with Josh Berry because the air's behind him. If he was spinning right in front of him or hits him, like I get it, but like that's seemingly a single car blowover. Priest was kind of the same way, but
Yeah.
Priest was kind of jumping through the grass.
Well,
when it
Priest was because he
happened.
got in the grass. I think Priest stayed down.
But
if
it's
it
like
wasn't
the
for-
Corey incident and the Josh Berry incident. I look at those as a car seemingly all by itself just gets air underneath it. And it's like, I feel like that is something that you can test. And you can figure out how to make that not happen. And I thought we were at that point.
Well, I agree with you on the Corey one. I said the same thing, but I disagree with you on the Barry one because Cindric turns hard right and smashes him in the driver rear, right?
He gets
That's what
hooked.
turns him.
He gets hooked
when
so
he
hard.
hits him so hard here, it's taking weight off of that passenger side. So when he turns,
Right.
You
But
know?
he's spinning for a while before he flips over.
Yeah, not that long.
not really.
I think Corey went over faster, but I think it was very similar.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I agree. When they're by themselves, they shouldn't.
But it's like Carter Upley
Because I
said.
feel like
Carter
that is
Upley,
something they tested. And I feel like they were adamant about that when they came out with the next gen cars. This is the best car ever.
but
it's never going to
the thing is it's what Carter Upley just said. If we slow down to 150, they'll still figure it out. They'll still find a way to flip.
Yeah,
That's
There's
how
only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
It
Honda,
just sucks
Honda
we've had
Longmire.
4 in 2 weeks.
Honda
Yeah.
Longmire e-NASCAR with the 8,000-pound battery. No flips, just explosions.
That burned for 3
Yeah, we
days.
just get Chernobyl every time a car self-spins.
All right, now we have the end, the overtime. What do you got, Norm?
I mean, nothing really to talk about. It was a pretty clean finish.
It really was.
Yeah,
There was some debate on whether Parker Retzlaff,
Yep.
Pretzloff.
Parker Pretzel should take
Pretzloff.
the inside or the outside. So the 62 Beard oil car is fully prepared by RCR. Has been for a long time. That car is a teammate to Kyle Busch who needs to win to get in. So there was a lot of talks before this final restart that he should be helping Kyle Busch. But in order to do that, he would have had to lose 3 positions to do it. So the whole drama with this restart is he starts behind the 21 and his team comes over the radio and says, don't push the 21 car because the 8 needs to win. Parker Retzlaff goes, I can't hear shit you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to go win this race.
I'm more worried about my career. And
So-
me having a second or first place finish in the Cup Series is a lot more important than Kyle Busch.
Yes.
To me in this moment.
Yep. So
You might as well have had the me on the hood.
the 4.5 cars, the 4.5 cars that are remaining at the end of this race are Harrison Burton starting outside on the front. He's the control car. Kyle Busch on the inside. He's second place. 62 is behind Harrison Burton. 20 is behind Kyle Busch. They get a decent start. They're pretty much side by side.
Yeah, they were pretty locked.
And they battle it out, but the high line definitely links up
Prevailed.
better, which is kind of the intended purpose.
Kyle Busch got out in front, but I think he got pushed out a little too far.
I think the high line just naturally, because the sweeping corner, just naturally gets that turn 2 run off turn 2.
But I'm saying when they took the green, like that first of the white, not the white flag lap, the 2 to go lap, like when they take the green, Kyle actually gets out. I think Bell pushed him out a little too far, and that bottom line got a little disconnected where the top line was very connected.
Yeah.
And they just powered, I mean, because Harrison didn't pass him till halfway down the backstretch on the white flag lap.
Yeah. He had every opportunity to go up and get in front of him.
I was surprised he didn't.
Chose not to.
There was even a point Denny said, because he obviously wrecked out, so he stayed and was watching because he was hoping like Bubba would win. He wanted to be there in case like Bubba won the race. And he had said that at one point Bell and Kyle had cleared the 21, and he was surprised that Bell didn't jump up in front of the 21 to try to win. You know,
I think at that point you know who's in every car.
Yeah.
And if you're Christopher Bell or Kyle Busch, you're going, do I want Harrison Burton and Parker Retzlaff pushing me?
True.
Or am I Kyle Busch and I want Christopher Bell pushing me?
My old teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think there was
He
definitely
made the realistically
the veteran-
smart.
Realistically, yes.
It was the smart decision. It didn't pan out very
unfortunately,
well.
it's Daytona.
Yeah.
So they had a very great race to the finish. Harrison Burton clears them by turn 3 on the white flag lap. They race out. Kyle Busch gets a run off 4. Harrison very smartly blocks him. And Kyle Busch very smartly doesn't turn him.
He could have, but he didn't.
He gets into him a little bit, very similar to, I think it was Blaney and Newman a couple years ago, kind of chasing each other into the tri-oval. Harrison gets turned a little sideways, gets onto the apron, quickly gets back up smartly, completely clean, and crosses the line first.
Yep.
So, I mean,
He won it fair and square.
We have talked a lot of shit about Harrison Burton over the years. There's nothing that he did wrong here.
No, I thought he beat Kyle Busch.
As far as winning a plate race goes, he did it in the cleanest way possible.
He outdueled Kyle Busch.
And he fair and square won that race.
Yep.
Good for him. Kyle Busch, fair and square, didn't turn him, didn't get dirty.
Yep.
Kind of just went.
I want to give a lot of kudos to Kyle Busch for his post-race interview.
Yes.
He said, short of turning him, there's nothing else I could have done.
Yep.
Which is
he
funny.
he handled that with grace and with class for someone that's having the worst string of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I give Kyle Busch a ton of credit for how he handled himself after that race.
Agreed.
And now we have to talk about the greatest call I may have heard in the past decade.
Dude, I didn't even realize how good it was in the moment. Like I told you before we started recording, when it happened, I didn't even really hear it because I was like, holy shit, Harrison Burton just won this race. This fucks everything up. But then when the Twitter and the Instagram reels and all that stuff started replaying it, the more I hear it, like me and Kyle listened to it again before we started recording, and we both had goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like,
unbelievable call.
Just the
Lee Diffie.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
And even not even just, like I was telling Kyle, it's not just the Jeff, your little boy, has done it. Even before that, the excitement, they come to the line. Like he is.
Right. And a lot of people are comparing it to like MRN. Like they can make everything exciting. And Lee Diffie does that.
Yep.
But he does it appropriately.
Yeah.
Like if it's exciting, he makes you know it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
He is a world-class announcer.
NASCAR-
That's
I will
why
say
they put him
NASCAR
in so many
Chasm-
big things.
NASCAR Chasm said it perfectly. Said it in like the middle of the race. Listening to Lee Diffie call a race is like listening to someone who's already watched the race, knows what happened, and is now poetically telling you about it.
Yeah, spot on.
It's unbelievable. Like Norm said, I think you said it in Discord or something, that it's unbelievable that, seemingly it's not his first NASCAR race, but it's his first race in a long time. But it didn't feel like he was reading like the factoids or the things about drivers. Didn't feel like
he's
he was,
natural.
It didn't feel like he was just reading them off a cheat sheet. Like it felt like he knew what was going on instantly. Like he knew.
Yeah, and like I think Sanchez mentioned it, and I kind of piggybacked off of it. And I noticed this early on in the race. When he talks about a driver, it's Chase Elliott in the number 9 Napa Chevy racing for Hendrick Motorsports, and he's getting pushed by his Chevy teammate Kyle Larson in the 5HendrickCars.com for Hendrick Motorsports. And it's like he's just giving so much detail off his brain about these guys. He's going into their backstories, their details, who they used to race for, the family members they have in racing. And it's like Rick Allen does it, but Rick Allen, you could tell he's reading it off a list.
It feels forced.
Like, oh, and Ryan Blaney, and he's getting pushed by Brad Keselowski, who for 3 years they were teammates at Penske Racing, and he used to also race for him in the Truck Series, where Lee Diffie just does it
Smooth.
It's so
Naturally.
He did so much preparation for this.
Yep.
He didn't just come in as an outsider for a one race deal and just kind of like, I'll attach on to what you guys are saying. He came in and he has all the information at hand. He knows it off the top of his head, and he can throw in that information as well as commentate the hell out of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Give that man anything he wants. Keep him forever.
Like I told Kyle before we started, what I'm really looking forward to is I want to see anybody. Me and you could go do Daytona and make it sound exciting.
Yeah.
I want to see him on a race that maybe isn't as exciting.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're really going to be able to tell. Because like I was telling Kyle before you, right when you got here, there's a lot of Rick Allen calls where like it's a snoozer of a race and you can tell, which it's his job. I'm not faulting him. But he's trying to make it sound more exciting than it is, and it's very forced. And it's like, okay, dude, I can see what we're watching. The lead guy in front's he's ahead of the field by 4 seconds, and he's saving fuel.
I'm going to tie together what you both just said, because I agree with you wholeheartedly that I'm looking forward to him calling a less than exciting
like
race.
a regular race.
But that also ties into what Norm just said. He's got so much information in his head that when he doesn't have to spit it out so fast because so much shit's happening right now, what he'll be able to eloquently say when it's, let's say it's a fuel saving section or it's got strung out and we're conveyor belt style, when he's just going to start spitting out facts and he can start filling the air with like facts and knowledge and stuff like that, I think it's going to be even better.
I agree.
I have very high hopes for this. I mean, Dan, you are right that we need to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I think he's
in
going
the
to do
sense
fine.
that he came in and had a fucking grand slam day one.
Right. It's like
but
when
I think
Junior
he's going to
had
be
the slide job race. His
Yeah,
first
somebody
race.
said that. I saw people comparing it to like Junior's first race was the slide job call.
But I
like,
think Lee Diffie is going to finish what Dale Jr. started.
Yeah.
When Dale Jr., I think it was kind of last year, kind of the end of last year, he's like, I want to make every race feel like a Showtime event. I want to, like, when they're doing the grid walk, I want to make this feel like the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Lee Diffie started calling that race, I felt like I was watching the Indy 500.
And that's
it felt like this was the most important race I will ever see in my life.
absolutely.
And that is something Junior strived to do last year with NBC in his final year, unknowingly to us that it was his final year. But he's like, I want to make every one of these races feel like it's an event.
Yep.
And we're not just going to, we're at Michigan for the race. This is the one race a year in Michigan. We're going to make this, and this is why these people came out here to see. We're going to do the grid walk, and everything he does, he makes it exciting.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic for this. And then not just the call, but then it's the age old. It's happened a few times in NASCAR where the family member is in the booth, whether it's DW calling Mikey, Ned Jarrett calling Dale Jarrett winning at Daytona. And now we just get another one with Jeff Burton in the booth when his son, that Jeff, you little boy, has done it. I mean, it just kills me. And then they show him hugging Dale Jarrett. Yeah. Or no, they show him hugging Steve Letarte in the booth. And then you get the moment they cross the line and that fist bump that if somebody was in the way of, they were getting cold cocked.
And I've applauded Jeff Burton for this for the past couple of years. He doesn't show nepotism when he's in the booth.
Does not.
He's very good. So I'm glad he got to have this moment. And it was kind of like they were talking to him. He wasn't talking to them about it.
He was like silent that whole last lap. He didn't interject with the like, come on, kid, come. Which would have been fine if he did that. I would have been perfectly fine if he lost his broadcasting mind and was cheering his son on to the victory. I would have been perfectly fine with that.
Also, shouts out for NBC for letting him do it. But how did he get down to the front stretch so fast?
I think he parachuted out of the booth.
There was a zip line or something.
His son just won at Daytona. I would have sprinted too.
Yeah.
Bro, they're like they talked about it on DBC because they interviewed Harrison. They had like a phone call thing with Harrison real quick on DBC. And they're like, we know he had like NBC obligations to be in the booth, but they allowed him to leave the booth early for you, obviously. But like, dude took the fastest elevator in history to get down there.
Yeah.
I guess the Happy Hour podcast was out today. I haven't listened to it yet. Carter Ropley in the chat says Harrison said on Happy Hour that Lee Diffie had the call of the year and almost got punched in the face for it.
No, he almost got punched in the back of the head.
Yeah.
He was going to be on concussion
Dude, but
protocol.
like that video of Jeff running through the infield, like just hugging his kid.
Oh,
and then
the feel-good moment.
And then his mom's losing her mind. His fiance's crying. Everybody's crying.
Say what you will about what this does to the playoffs because it makes a total mess, but whatever. feel good moment.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I still love, I said it to Kyle, I love Jeff's face because you know your dad. You do something stupid, your dad gives you that face. When they do the radio call, he's like, how about that shit? And Jeff's just like, God damn it. we're on TV. We're on TV, kid.
Yeah,
like, you can just tell
great.
that a little bit. But that was such a cool moment. And like I said, I expected to see Jeff like in victory lane. When he comes sprinting through the infield, I thought the same thing. I'm like, did he just zip line out of the booth? Like, what the hell? How did he get down there so fast? I've been on those elevators.
Another thing
or those escalators. They're not that fast.
Another thing worth mentioning is Harrison Burton typically would get a lot of shit for this because he's 34th place in points. He's hasn't been that good in the Cup Series.
He's still in 34th even after the win.
The protection he gets from being on Wood Brothers is amazing.
So,
because it's like everyone is going to be mad at the situation, but no one's going to be mad at him because he races for the Wood Brothers, and everyone loves the Wood Brothers, and it's their 100th win.
Yep. So I wanted
it's
to.
Like he's got
and
like
Logano came over there.
Bubble.
Bubba came over there after
Blaney-
Bubba got just
Blaney
kicked in the
brought-
face.
So did
Blaney
you hear?
carried a 30-pack in the victory.
Well, no.
Yeah.
So there's a whole story with Blaney. I know you don't listen to the teardown, but Kyle heard this earlier.
Yeah.
Bianchi retold this story. So Blaney gets wrecked out. He leaves the care center. He's in a golf cart, driving through the DO lot with the green-white checker, or like close to it. So he stops at a random RV. They don't know whose it is, but they got their TV on. He watches the end of the race, gets back in the golf cart, hauls ass over to victory lane. Obviously, there's the video of him shaking all the crew guys' hands. Now, for those that don't know, Blaney got the Wood Brothers' last win in 2017. They've been stuck on 99 since 2017. Blaney's in victory lane. Bianchi said at one point the team's doing the hat dance and celebrate, and Blaney was just sitting in the corner, like on a rock wall, like on one of the decorative walls, just having a beer, just watching, taking it all in. He said the car had already left victory lane, was going to tech inspection, and Jeremy Bolins and Ryan Blaney, who Jeremy Bolins is now the crew chief for Harrison, but he was Blaney's crew chief back then. They were just talking, just chopping it up because Blaney loves that team so much. He hung out for like 2 hours and just had beers with everybody. Like,
absolutely love it.
That's the coolest thing. And, you know, for that historic team to get their 100th win, finally, we've been talking about it since 2017, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it does mess up the playoff bubble quite a bit going into the final race of the season. Now this pushes Bubba Wallace out. He is now 21 points behind the bubble, and Chris Buescher is 21 points to the good. Can Bubba make it up?
Yes.
Yes. Is it going to be easy? No.
Because Buescher's good at Darlington. He could have won Darlington in the spring. It was that slide job from Reddick that screwed that up and let Brad through. I mean, yes, 21 points is doable. And one thing I've heard a lot of people bring it up today is the Southern 500 brings a lot of attrition. How many years have we? It's the first race of the playoffs usually. Was it 2 years ago? Remember, half the playoff drivers all blew up or crashed or broke or whatever.
Yep.
So, I mean, Buescher, something happens to Buescher in the first stage or even the second stage, and Bubba goes out and has top fives to top threes in the stages, or God forbid wins one. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
How far out's Chastain? Because he's
27.
So he's right there too. This isn't sealed up yet. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of a miracle.
I would love to see Bubba with a walk-off.
That'd be awesome.
That would be sick.
The problem is I like all three of them, so I'm not really care who gets in. I kind of want Chastain to be out because Joe's insufferable, but I love you, Joe.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
It's
so
gonna be interesting. It's definitely
Darlington's gonna be a wild.
I would
one.
love it if it was like 5 points, because then it's more fun. Like, this is still gonna take a bunch of circumstances happening.
Right.
It was funny. I was looking at my notes earlier, and I had my playoff predictions that we did at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I looked at ours earlier.
And
It's
I
bad.
have Bubba, Chastain, and Ty Gibbs all battling for that transfer spot for the last three in. I was like, hey, I figured that out.
So I am the only one of the three of us that does not have Chastain in the playoffs. But I counter that with I have Corey in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I also have Corey in the playoffs. No, I actually...
You took him out.
I put a note in that Corey wins, but after the playoffs start.
Oh, okay.
Bad note, but...
Yeah, at least you didn't think he was going to be in the playoffs.
We all have Kyle Busch too, so that's
We
good.
all have Kyle Busch.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's answer some questions, shall we?
Yeah, of the 14 of you watching live, if you have any questions for the YouTube chat, now is the time.
Yeah.
A couple of guys did bring up Brad K getting that restart violation.
Yes.
It is what it is. I kind of didn't see him at fault because you got to think, like, you're getting bumped so much.
Well, he was convinced that Cindric leading. I think it was Cindric was the control car. He said that Cindric spun the tires, which obviously Brad can hear when he gets on the throttle. So that could have happened, but naked eye, he jumped the shit out of that restart.
Yeah.
But who knows? He could have spun the tires, but obviously NASCAR looked at everything. He stayed out longer than I thought he was. I thought they were trying to fight it, and then he just pulled off.
They probably did. Yeah.
Well, I think he was just trying to get out of harm's way.
True. Yeah.
But at the same time, it also saved him because I think that was right before the McDowell wreck.
It was.
So let's just run down the finishing order there because it's a really fun top 10 to say.
It's a weird one.
Harrison Burton takes the checkered flag. Things I never thought I'd say.
Still mad about Phoenix?
I still hate him for Phoenix. Feel good moment. Hate him for Phoenix still. Kyle Busch finishes second. Christopher Bell in third. Norm's boy, Mr. Cody Ware, brings it home fourth.
What? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Norm's Norm's Ski of the Week winner.
Last week.
Top 5 now.
I think they were saying that was one of the reasons why Kyle Busch's bottom line didn't really have any go because Cody Ware was pushing him.
That would add up.
That adds up.
Ty Gibbs brings it up to top 5. Then Bubba Wallace, Parker Retzlaff, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Hemrick, and Chris Buescher, your top 10.
Felt bad for Retzlaff because obviously he was going to finish second or third, and he got shipped coming across the line. He hit the wall hard.
Yeah.
So good for him for 7th, but that could have been a top 5. That could have been a top 3, I think. Because, like we talked about, Harrison getting the lead off Kyle was great, but that push that Beard Motorsports car gave was unbelievable going down the
He did a
backstretch.
great job.
He really did.
Give him a lot of credit.
For his second Cup race to be confident enough to push that hard or ballsy enough to push that hard was wild.
Yeah. All right, to the questions. We'll start at the bottom with Mr. Jet Daly. Jeff, your little boy has done it. Is an all-time call.
All-time.
We talked about it. Unbelievable. And he also says we're lucky to have Lee now. I hope he sticks around. Agree wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Carteropoli, love you. Not reading that. Scumbag Steve.
Scummy.
If you guys had to listen to only one song for an entire race, what is it? Freebird.
Flirting with disaster.
Oh, it's a good one.
They asked a bunch of drivers this, and there were some weird answers. But I'm going to have to...
Suarez said the Macarena.
Yeah. I think Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue.
Oh.
I mean, that's got to amp you up more than anything.
Yeah. Well, I said Freebird because Freebird's very long.
Yeah.
So, like, you won't hear it as many times.
How about your World War III SoundCloud song just on repeat?
Yeah.
Just 9 minutes of that magic. Restart 9 minutes of that magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Soul song, Kickstart My Heart.
Kickstart My Heart is a very good one.
At the beginning, it's going to get you going.
Kickstart My Heart's great.
Lagrange. ZZ
Lagrange,
Top.
yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm trying to
Because
think.
Tyler Reddick's like, oh no, any
Every
song
Time
by
We Touch by
Slipknot,
Cascada.
That, honestly, I'm going to agree with you on
Just
that.
Sandstorm for Dan.
Just over and over again.
Adagio for strings.
That's a slow build, though. I need, like, right out of the gate, let's go.
Yeah, true. All right, Sam Valley 95. In your opinion, what are the 4 crown jewels of NASCAR races?
Easy. Daytona 500.
Yes.
Coke 600.
Yes.
Southern 500.
Yes.
I mean, now I would put the Brickyard back in that. When it's on the road course, no.
Yeah.
But when it's at the Oval, 100%.
Yeah, or Bristol Night.
Yeah, if Indy goes away or Indy's the road course, yeah, Bristol Night Race.
Yeah.
But that's like
Bristol Dirt, too.
I will flip this table.
R.I.P.
Bristol Night Race is like Indy on the Oval is 4A, Bristol Night Race is 4B.
Yeah.
But Indy on the Oval just wins because it's Indy. Like
New Hampshire Fall Race.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Bro, you no idea how excited I am for that.
Sam Valley 95. What fast food /chain restaurants would you want in your area that is not Waffle House?
Waffle House.
Waffle House, I'll give something different. In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's all right. I mean,
it's
all right.
I could just crush In-N-Out.
It's all right. I mean, the thing is it's
I like
better.
it. I will not wait in line for an hour for
Agreed.
it.
We went in Austin, and it was good. Like, I've had it.
It's good.
That's the second time I've had it. It's good. Like, if it was local, it would be better than, like, a McDonald's, Burger
Waffle House
King.
is 24,
Also,
right?
I'm going to go
Yes.
out. I'm going to go and put my foot down right now. Animal style fries are wrong.
What is it? I don't remember what
It's
they are.
that like the onions and the sauce that they put on the top there.
No.
I don't like sauce on top of my fries because then they get soggy and then they're not good.
Yep.
Animal style on the burger is fine because it's like this, lives in the burger there.
Yep.
You can put the animal sauce, whatever stuff is on the side, and dip the fries in it. But you people that put it on top of the fries are wrong, and I'll die on that hill.
I'm with you. Not a big soggy fry guy.
No, gross. Their fries are great. You put the animal style crap on top of it, ruined it.
Yeah, but yes, I want if you can tell me I can bring anything here, it's a Wawa connected to a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Dude, those exist?
I
Or you
just
It will.
want to build that.
I have an investment opportunity.
We have a diner at home that's a gas station on one side and a Red Arrow diner on the other side, the one in Londonderry. I want Wawa and then a door that you can walk into the Waffle House.
I'd never leave.
I'd park the camper in the parking lot. And
I would
just live
sell
there.
everything I have and just be the
Waffle House
homeless
for
guy that lives
breakfast,
out back that actually has
Wawa
money.
for lunch, and then go back to Waffle House for late dinner.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
All done. Have a
then-
sizzly for lunch.
Dude, don't stop. I'm hungry.
Have an Italian.
I'm so hungry as it is. I haven't eaten yet. Dying.
I beat him here today. He was very late. He didn't get here till like 5:45.
It was a day, let me tell you. All right. Nathan Danforth just says, I love Race Day Chat.
Race Day Chat's awesome.
a great time.
Dude, we only have 11 more weeks of Race Day Chat.
Downriver Diecast, Mount Rushmore of Daytona summer races.
2001, 2001, and 2001.
Yeah.
That's all. Actually, no, well, the one I went to was actually a shit race, but I was there, so 2000 was pretty cool because I went.
Yeah, it's too specific. Mount Rushmore of gas station snacks.
Wawa.
No, gas station snacks. Like
Snacks?
Universal. All right. Those, the bag of pickles.
Oh, the pickle in a bag?
Yeah. Pickle in a bag all day. That's one. I'm just going to go kind of generic.
Big honey bun guy. Oh. Also, if you want to get specific on honey buns, the ones that they sell at Wawa. Like the
I like the big Tex ones, the cinnamon ones better.
those are pretty good too.
See, I like the OG.
I like the OGs though. The OGs are just that brings me back to high school. I used to eat
Big
those
Texas
every
is
day.
more of like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Honey bun.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cinnamon. Pickles in a bag.
I'm out on that.
Beef jerky.
That's standard.
Yeah. Hot fries.
Not a big hot fried guy.
You can die.
Gladly.
Promise? Last one.
Just go sardines, dude. Just you have the smelliest car in the world at this point in time.
It's gonna smell like pickle, hot
Salt
fries,
vinegar chips, and I'm gonna spill them all over the center console. Fucking pickles, beef jerky, and
My problem is every time I go to a gas station, like road trip, I'm swinging into a gas station. I don't know what I want. It's going to be different every time. Like, what am I feeling today?
Yeah.
I might get a bag of Twizzlers. I might
See,
get a
like, I'll
fucking
grab
bag of chips.
gas station snacks, and I eventually just end up hating them all. Like I used to
Same.
love beef jerky. Now I just like the smell of beef jerky is just like, no, I don't like beef
So
jerky.
every time I come here, I didn't
We
do it.
ate a ton on the way down to Pocono.
Yeah, but like it's
No.
like I don't love beef jerky as much as I used to.
I
used
can-
to always-
I can
just
track.
wrote this. I used to always
It just
get
slides
beef
in.
jerky.
I can track the moment he started hitting beef jerky, and it's when Steph opened a bag on the
No,
goddamn
it was
plane.
before that, but that excited or
Fucking
accelerated
Steph.
my.
I was like,
hatred
"What are
for
you
it.
doing?" She's like,
Ah,
"What?" I'm like,
trail
the whole
mix.
plane stinks.
It's my last one.
See,
Trail
gas-
mix. Love trail
I'm-
mix.
I'm with him though because coming down here every Monday, I stop and get gas and I grab some snacks and a Red Bull. There will be 3 weeks where I'll have the same snack in a row, and then the fourth week I walk in there and I'm like, "That sounds awful." Like I went on a Fritos kick for a while, or like a Funyuns, or
See,
like,
I love Fritos, but it gives me heartburn.
I love Fritos for the first half of the bag, and then I'm like, I regret my
Not
decision.
a Frito guy.
I like Fritos.
I like them when they're in the sandwich bags.
Small bag.
Yeah.
I can't do the big bag.
Nah.
No.
Although I like the big scoops.
Funyuns,
Andy
though.
Caps, the hot fries, just came out with like the family bag. One shot.
Fucking fun.
Gas station snacks.
You a Funyun guy?
Yeah, I like, again, same situation. The sandwich bag size, I'll crush one. No problem.
Yeah.
Big one, I'll never buy it.
See, I used to love them, but now they've gone down my list as well. But gas station snacks.
Sorry, honorable mention, going to throw in the Wise popcorn.
Popcorn. Wise popcorn all day. That's not honorable mention. That's like top of the list.
Combos, cheese and crackers.
Great pick.
Those are
Not
awesome.
cheese
Great
and
pick.
pretzels.
The cheese and crackers, not the pretzel.
The pizza ones are bomb.
Yep.
Ronan got those.
Ronan got those. Not combos. Fuck. Chex Mix.
Yeah, he
Muddy
said-
Buddies.
Oh, the Muddy Buddies. Yeah.
Oreo,
What's a Muddy Buddy?
Oreo Muddy Buddies. They're like coated in powder.
The Chex
They have
Mix.
like Chex Mix.
Oh,
With
yeah,
the
yeah,
chocolate
yeah.
It's like
milk
a
and coated in,
trail
like, white
mix,
powder.
kind of,
Yeah.
with Chex.
With more
Popcorn.
diabetes.
I love popcorn. And then my last one. Oh. What is it called?
Heroin?
Munchies. Munchies. It's like the.
Yeah.
Munchos?
Munchos.
Munchies.
No, Munchies. I've seen. It's
Or,
another.
Are those like
mix-
the puffy chip ones?
No, it's like a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag of like pretzels, Cheetos,
Doritos. Is there Doritos?
Oh,
in it?
yeah.
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 In like Chex Mix.
It's like a brand took all of their things and we're like, we're gonna make it one.
It's
bag
all the
of
Lay's stuff.
All the Lay's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Munchos are very good though. Those that like fluffy
Honorable
chip.
mention for me would be any one of the cereal bars.
I like the cereal.
I love
bars.
a good cereal bar. Chex Mix makes one that's like
These.
graham cracker.
These
I
things.
know those. Yeah, the Munchos. Yeah.
Bomb.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Munchies.
Yeah. I know what
Yeah,
you're
it's
talking
like
about.
Cheez-Its and pretzels and
Yeah, the one I get, I don't think has Cheez-Its in
yeah,
it.
because you hate Cheez-Its. Because you're broken.
Yeah. What is it? I always say it wrong. Utz.
Utz.
Utz. The Utz mix.
Or if
That's
you're
just
talking
like
about,
that.
If you're talking
Fire.
about TV, it's Let's.
What?
If you're ever watching TV and they're eating a bag of chips, it's Let's chips.
Oh, LETZ?
Yeah. That's the unbranded.
Ah.
But like if you're ever watching TV and somebody's eating a bag of chips, it's always Let's chips.
Nice.
I did not know that.
Dan, what do you got?
You guys kind of said most of them. I'm a
Cheese sticks.
big- No. Anything like Tyler Page just said in the chat, anything caramel, like big caramello guy, Rolos.
I'm
not
trying to
Ro-
think
like-
of when
like
we were
Milk
always
Werther's.
homeschooling.
Milk Duds, except those hurt.
He would always get like a candy bar.
Yeah, like when we would come down here, I'd get a bag of chips, but it always depends on like what I'm feeling. Some
I feel
days
like I got
it's
Three Musketeers or something weird.
yeah, Three Musketeers, Milky Way. I'm a big fan of those.
Carver I agree. Utz is better than everybody at everything.
Pretty much.
I like ice creams. I'll get an
A
ice
big
cream.
the
The big Reese's or the frozen
the
Snickers.
caramel Magnum bars. I'll house 2 of those and without even blinking.
Never had one.
For a while,
Oh my
I
god,
was
the double
getting,
caramel bars are so good.
Oh.
I like
getting
the
big
the
Reese's.
Snickers ice cream bars.
Yep.
Those are good.
Don't like Snickers. Like Snickers ice cream bars.
The
Interesting.
Twix.
I don't
Twix ice
dislike
cream bars are also super
The Twix
good.
ice cream bars.
Fire.
It's like
Party.
the exact same thing, but it's little crackers in
Yeah,
it.
those fuck.
Peanuts.
What else you got?
That's kind of it. It's just for me. It's whatever I'm feeling. Like I'll walk around the gas station. It's like, what is tickling the fancy today? I don't have a go.
Yeah, every once in a while it'll be Pringles.
Yeah, Pringles.
I like Pringles.
Pringles are great till you get about halfway through and you're like, I don't
Or
even
I'll
like
get
these.
like one of the individual packs of Pop Tarts.
Yep.
I'll get some
It's just
s'mores
for me. I
Pop-Tarts.
go into a gas station and I never have that like, do they have this thing? I want this thing. It's like I'm gonna walk around and see what I'm feeling. You know.
And last but not least, Mr. L98 Jake requests that we revive bingo for the end of season wrap up.
No, Kyle got really mad at bingo.
I
I mean, we could revisit our bingo and just look at it.
Kyle got really.
yeah,
really
we'll look
mad.
at it at the end of the season.
But Carteropolis sent one on Discord that is very interesting. Another podcast did this. Theirs is very R-rated, so
what's ours?
We can maybe keep it a little cleaner. But there's a thing they called it the offenders. So pretty much we can each pick a superpower, but the other guys have to agree on like the caveat to that superpower.
Oh, okay.
So like what Carteropolis said is my superpower is I can fly, but then you would come back with okay, but you can only fly at 5 miles an hour,
Well, that's unfortunate.
or I
The
can shoot.
podcast this came from, it's you can fly, but the entire time you're flying, you're screaming racial profanities. like theirs is extremely offensive. One of them is I can run like the Flash, but I'm shitting the entire time. So call me the brown streak because there's just a shit
I
trail
found my
behind you.
superpower.
Nice. All right, what do you want your superpower to be, Norm?
Have you guys ever seen the movie Jumper?
No.
Where they teleport, you can teleport to wherever you want to go.
Yep.
That's what I want. So like, say I'm
You
standing
can
here,
do that, but every time you land, you end up in just women's underwear.
that's a plus, baby.
Wait, so I have to take mine off?
Is it the same ones I'm already wearing?
Is it the same ones I'm wearing now?
But I've always thought that would be a sweet superpower because it's like he just like has pictures of things
yeah.
and
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
the
I've seen that.
pyramids, and boom, he's down with the pyramids.
Cool.
That would be a sick superpower. Oh, I don't know. This
Damn,
is
the commute time would be sick.
Imagine coming here. Podcast.
Boom, home.
On women's
Somebody
underwear.
take the click remote. That's your superpower.
Oh, the
Is
click remote. Oh.
That already has its own negative side effects.
Yeah, you fuck your whole life up. That
Yeah.
movie sucks.
Dude,
that movie made me cry like
it
a
was
baby.
So high.
Yep.
And then the ending just crash and burn
Crash
your
landed.
entire life.
That movie, one of the movies that made me very emotional. That movie sucked.
yeah. Great movie, but goddamn, it'll
else?
tear you apart.
I want to fly. It's always been my wish for a superpower.
But I feel like that would be very similar to like his. The commute would be incredible.
Yeah.
But what
With a
are
much
we-
better view.
What are we caveating?
I'm trying to think of.
I'm trying to think of a superpower still, so this is on you.
I don't want to make it like he flies slow.
No, that's dumb. He has to flap his arms.
I want to say you
ferociously.
fly, but you can't control when you stop. So like,
So he
What?
just dies. So he's gonna fly once. He's gonna fly once.
or you fly, but you always have to be really close to the ground. So it's just like you're in a car,
You can only fly 10 feet off the ground.
I'm just lane splitting, flying. That's awful.
No, that's funny as hell, actually.
Can only fly over roads.
Yeah, you can only fly over paved roads. Damn it.
That's fine.
Yeah, he can fly, but it's the Jetsons where there's traffic lights in the sky and shit.
and it makes the noise as he's flying
can fly,
around.
but you have to obey the street laws below you.
So he's better than a bicyclist.
He can fly, but only via MapQuest.
Waze. No, Apple Maps. Oh, wait, you use Apple Maps. Never mind.
I'm just flying like this.
He flies, but he's the one reporting roadway incidents.
And
So every time he sees something, he
just
has
have it
to
on my
stop
watch.
and add it into his phone.
Oh my god.
There's a new pothole.
Oh man. You know what one I've always thought would be fun is in The Incredibles Frozone, how he can like throw ice and then surf on it. I already know what the caveat is. The ice is sewage.
Wait, say it again. You should probably
You
be
ever seen
the
The Incredibles?
yeah.
The Frozone guy, he can like make ice and he has like the surfboard, like the snowboard surfboard.
I got the caveat.
Oh, I got it. I got one.
The ice is from the ice caps. So every little bit you're using,
I'm killing the world.
there's less.
You're moving it from glaciers?
Every time a polar bear dies.
No, I got it. You get to do your ice thing, but the ice is perfectly smooth and you have to do it barefoot.
That's okay. Perfectly smooth ice feels great.
I'd rather him
barefoot.
kill the earth because that's a conscience thing at that
Perfectly
point.
smooth ice and bare feet. No, it has to be like that uneven, crappy
gonna have
ice
the
that's
feet-
on your driveway. That's
No,
like
you're gonna have
sharp.
No.
feet
It's
from
like
Mr. Deeds
it's
and
like
you're just gonna get frostbite.
it's like black ice, and you're barefoot.
I don't see the problem with that.
How are you going to surf black ice?
Easy.
with his surfboard.
No, he has to do it barefoot
I'll do that all
on
day.
perfectly smooth ice.
I'll do that
I
all
like
day.
that he
I'll be
kills
going
the ice
fast.
guy.
I'll be going fast.
Dan comes flying in here and just whoop.
Oh well, that's you
Just
can't
lands
stop.
on his
Yeah,
ass.
You can't stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want him to like, and Frozone saves an entire orphanage of people, but
The sea levels have risen 10 feet.
global warming has accelerated
What else?
33%.
Any
We can't
others?
figure out why.
Any other?
Hondo says I can't keep my hair if I can fly.
There was a bunch. So on the Unsubscribed podcast, which is the one that came up with this idea, they created the Offenders. Every time they have a guest, they end the episode like this, like Corey does.
Yeah.
And it's like, it gets crazy and crazier. Like one of the guys can teleport, but every time he does, he has to kill a kitten to do it.
I want the ability
Like
to
shit
time
like that.
travel. I already have a good caveat, but I want to see if one of you gets it.
You're not going to be able to predict where you land.
That was one, but I was going to say every time you land, it's in the worst part of that time period.
Like, I want to go to the 40s. Ah, shit.
Shit, I'm in Germany.
Or it's, you can time travel, but it's, what was that Scott Bakula show?
I don't know. I'm not that
Oh,
guy.
like people get significantly older faster.
They just remade it. Oh, what was that called? You can time travel, but you don't know whose body you land in.
Oh, God.
That's
You can
the-
time travel, but you lose an inch every time.
So I could time travel once? All right, whatever.
Lobbed it up there, nailed
Wait,
it.
is that a round trip? Or
I meant height.
Is that there and
is it
back?
there and back? Because, like, I saw you lob that one up there, and it's just
Yeah, it had to.
gone.
That's a fun one.
Oh, no. Well, I want to time travel, but I want to be able to do a Back to the Future thing.
what was that
where I can
show?
get the sports almanac and sports bet.
Oh yeah,
That's
just
all
be
I want.
rich.
That's all I want. I want to be Biff.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got. Thank
That's
you
it?
for joining us on
Quantum Leap is the show I was thinking of.
Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo just said it.
Yeah. I didn't have you.
He said quadrant leap, but
All
close
right.
enough.
Well, that does
I
it
would've got
for yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, as always.
We had a pretty solid live chat crowd. It was up in the teens all day.
yeah.
I'll take it. Good points day.
Good turnout. Good points day. Good
Hey, that
points
would
day.
have got me a win.
Yeah,
All right.
If there's 50 people in here, it would have got you a win. Apparently.
I'm so excited to come in here and get to pick race picks first because I lost with Ryan fucking Blaney, and you guys had fucking Chase Purdy and
He's
Kyle
gonna
Weatherman.
have a loose wheel and get a 3-lap penalty.
Yeah, it's gonna be something stupid.
No, he's
gonna
gonna
win
fail
state-
tech 4 times. He's gonna get a pass through.
No, I
No
want
crew
Dan to
chief.
have hope. He's gonna like sweep stage 1 and stage 2, and then have a pit road blunder at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's gonna be Flores.
And then-
Wheel's gonna
33rd.
fall off on track, held for 3 laps,
Yeah, it's
ends
gonna-
5 laps
I
down.
guarantee you, I'm the only one with someone currently in the playoffs for race picks, there is no way in hell I win this week.
Yeah.
Something stupid will happen. Sorry, Ryan Blaney. Sorry, Ryan Flores. I hate it for you guys, but you're cursed.
Yeah. Well, before we sign off, follow us on everywhere at
LoosesFast_pod on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Instagram. The Looses Fast podcast on YouTube. We have hit 110 subscribers. We're getting there.
Woo.
It is a slow
Chipping
crawl,
away at it.
But if you don't subscribe, even if you don't watch us on YouTube, I don't care. You don't have to. But just subscribe. It helps us.
it does.
Even if you have no interest in watching the podcast and you listen to it on Tuesdays when it comes out, we love you. Just go on YouTube and subscribe. That's all we ask.
Subscribe, please.
It would be awesome. Even though you don't have to watch a single video. Just subscribe.
Fill out a review if you still not have.
Yes, do that. If you haven't, I will find you.
Share Norm's wonderful image that he is going to probably create this evening.
Most likely.
I'm Kyle Belcher,
I'm Dan Walker.
Norm Peltier.
and we'll catch you at the Lady in Black.
Bye.
Darlington.
Oh, hey.
Hi. Still 11 fucking people in here.
Hey. 3 of them are us.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, Jesus. Carter Ropley.
Yeah,
Oh, my
Ropley
God.
went fucking dark.
That was good. I liked it.
Jared, y'all can remember things? No, not very well.
How about the shirt, though? Norm made fun of my shirt.
All right, bye.
Wave to the crowd.
Love you.
Norm, wave to the crowd.